All right. StreamYard says we are live. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have a fancy intro to this show like I do the wrestling show, so we don't get one tonight because we're actually doing the Sunday show tonight, and we're doing the wrestling show tomorrow night because there is a pay per view tomorrow night. So we're going to do the pay per view watch along like we tend to do, particularly since I get those for free where the WWE is concerned and don't have to pay for them. But tonight so far with us, we have Mr. Jason Stewart. Kingpin says he's going to be a little late, so we're waiting on him. So how are you tonight, Jason?
Oh, sorry about the pause there, man. I was trying to mute my other feed so we didn't have echo. But I'm doing good. Thanks for inviting. Good to see you.
Yeah, we already got a question out there from Mr. Gizzard Gary. He wants to know what is the MSM? That would be the mainstream media. In other words, should he sue the mainstream media for defamation? That's the poll question. We'll be talking about that a little bit later and get my take on that and take of some of the lawyers and such who I've seen covering the case, and we'll have a discussion on that. So before we get there, though, I wanted to see what the crowd had to say on that one, and we'll see what you guys think. So,
Good evening, is it Gary and Fiend Dog?
yep, MNK Joe was out there earlier. I'm guessing he's still out there too.
Oh, MK Joe. Good evening.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
and Kingpin, like I said, has been leaving time answers. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm too lazy to type out mainstream media. Gary Ng had you confused. He said he answered but didn't know because he had no idea what that was an abbreviation for. Well, that's my fault. Sorry about that, Gary. So just put your answer in there, and then Gary, do you think they should or shouldn't? I mean, I can't fix the poll to add your vote, but you'll have your right vote in spirit, I guess.
I saw an interview with Nicholas Sandman, and he's saying he's still got 2 more years of court cases and suits and stuff.
Mm,
But uh, he was real careful on what he said. Like he told Kyle he should, I guess. But he was saying that it's no fun. It's no cakewalk. What they put your life through and what you got to go through. And
mm,
like he said, you'll never be the same again. And to this day, he still has problems, and like people are gonna recognize you.
mm-hmm.
He says it ain't no fun, and he's
Yeah,
like, just because you sue somebody, um, like that really doesn't change public opinion on you.
yeah. And Gary says he thought maybe I was trying to spell MSNBC or something. They would be one of the
Yeah,
prime targets for a lawsuit. I mean, let's be honest.
yeah, I go
So
with that. Yeah,
I could see where you would think that. Yeah,
I kind of thought that too when I first saw it. I kind of went toward MSNBC, but yeah, he needs to sue them, all of them. I would sue. I don't know how they could actually do it or whatever, but like I would sue the person, like the news host or whatever on NBC, because they said stuff that was like out of their opinion, and they're the
that's
star
the
of the show.
problem.
I'd
That's the
sue them.
problem. If they voice it as an opinion, then it's
Well,
not actionable.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying it's not like they're reading it off a newspaper. They're saying it out of their own thing, but they try to state facts and call you. You can get them for slander and other stuff, defamation of
Yeah.
character.
But
You
they
know
have,
what I
yeah,
mean?
the
But I'd
problem's going
sue
to
that
come.
person and the network for hiring that person
Yeah,
and broadcasting it. Yeah.
there's going to be two issues with Rittenhouse that Sandman didn't have. Well, one that Sandman didn't have for one thing. Sandman, until the mainstream media made him a public figure, wasn't one. Kyle Rittenhouse, since he was on trial for a major trial that got national coverage, they can argue that made him a public figure, and that's been done before. And if you're a public figure, it's a lot harder for you to sue for defamation of character. A lot harder.
Yeah, but like the Sandman too, though. I mean, how long did they go after him?
I know,
A
but
few days, a
yeah,
week. Yeah.
the thing with him though, he wasn't on trial for a murder that was getting national headlines. Where so he didn't have the public figure that they could argue that he was a public figure for, because if he was a public figure, they made him one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they'll get him on something, man, because they kept calling him a white supremacist. It's one thing they call him a shooter, a vigilante, this or that. He's proven in court. But they're calling him a white supremacist, making this race, making this white privilege on steroids and all that. They went after him for being, like I said, a racial thing when there was not one speck of anything about his trial racial related.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I know.
They may tap dance around the facts and opinions, but
Oh,
that's
excuse me.
just a flat out attack. And I think there should be some kind of law, like with Biden and the others that attacked him on day one. You're attacking a 17-year-old. That's still a child. That's a
Yeah,
minor.
it's gonna
You
be
know.
a heck of a lot harder to file a lawsuit against the president of the United States because they have natural immunity to certain things.
Ah, but he wasn't president when he said that. He was a
But
private citizen.
he was president when he was saying it too. He's
Yeah,
been saying it during his presidency as well. So,
but he
and
used it in a campaign ad.
I know
He
it's
used a minor. He defamed a
I
minor
I know,
during a campaign
but
ad.
then that again that falls back to a presidential candidate under certain conditions. Even a presidential candidate can fall in with that. It's when you're talking politicians and whatnot, when they're running for office and when they're sitting in office, there's certain things that they can't be held accountable for. It sucks, I know, but that's just the way it is. It's like if you're a member of Congress, you cannot be tried for insider trading. It falls into that same kind of thing. It's one of those little perks, I guess you could call it, of office. It's it's crazy, but that's the way it works. One of the reasons why they have that immunity is so that they can put all kinds of slander ads against their opponent and not face repercussions from it. And nobody ever thought to think, well, these candidates may say something against somebody who's not, but we got these immunities for slander or libel, which protect them. And it could be that those will end up applying to Biden anyway, which would make it where he wouldn't be able to be sued, even though he, at the time he was a candidate. It's crazy, but it's a technicality, but it's the way it works, sadly.
Uh, I'm, I'm I'm sure the lawyers are lining up to do something for Kyle. If he could just pick the right experienced lawyers, I think he'll get something. He deserves. He deserves it. At the very least, every one of those people on the news should have to make a retraction and a formal apology, man. At the
Well,
very least.
one has on her own. I don't know if you saw Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks came out and apologized when she found out, because she was one of the ones claiming that he had carried the gun over state lines and that he was too young and all that. And when it came out that that's not the way it was in Wisconsin law, and then in the trial came out that the being the too young part, and then when it came out in the trial that he didn't actually carry it across state lines, she apologized. I was shocked that somebody from the Young Turks would apologize, but she did apologize for it. She's the only one that I know of for sure that did.
Well, well, you know how things go. This Kyle's been big news. It's been on, uh, a lot of us Second Amendment supporters' is radar, and we're stay glued to the info, and the other side lost. So now, before too long, they need a new headline. They need something new to distract from Kyle and move forward with their agenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
So.
gunpowder's right on the money. Taking on cases that aren't considered an opinion but will actually hold up in court is going to be the big issue. That's exactly right. That's if they can twist it in any way to where it was their opinion being stated, and not a fact, and they weren't stating it as a point of fact, you have no case because you cannot sue somebody for their opinion. You can only sue them for misrepresentation of facts. If they voiced it in a way that it comes across as to a reasonable person, including the judge, who would be the one to determine whether the case has merit or not, you have no case.
Yeah, well, maybe they've some of the people were talking instead of talking, they like put a list up on the side screen there or whatever, pointing out things or whatever. That would be kind of displaying it as a fact rather
Uh,
than opinion.
yeah,
But then on the other hand, this is a news network where you're supposed to be providing news. If you're
yeah,
not
but
going to be able to provide news, the bottom of the screen should say this
here's
is
the problem.
opinion.
Here's the problem. If you look at the primetime schedule for everyone in the news channels, they are opinion shows by nature. None of those are news anchors. They are all opinion shows and commentary shows, which could excuse every one of those shows. The only way that they're going to get any kind of suit against the networks themselves is if the actual anchors can be shown to be saying this stuff, which is where Sandman got him.
Yeah, they'll probably find some newspapers too.
And Fiend
Yes, I
Dog's
think
asked,
Sandman that's who he started with, wasn't the Washington Post
yeah.
newspaper? He sued them for more than what it cost to buy them.
Mm-hmm. Um, Fiend Dog's asking, didn't Epstein's girlfriend's trial start? Yes, but you're not going to see a whole lot of news coverage on that because that's the federal court, and federal courts do not allow cameras in, unlike state courts. So you're not going to see that trial on court TV or any such thing like you did with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Sadly, because that would be an interesting one to watch, but you're not going to see any live streams for that.
Since you're talking about Kyle, I'd like to talk a minute about what I saw. Uh, right when the verdict came down, I was watching it, and after a few minutes, and when I, took a deep breath, gathered up the moment and everything, I went over to see what because off my feeds, Fox News was very favorable toward Kyle. So I wanted to see what MSNBC had to say, CNN had to say, and them guys. So I searched them on YouTube, went and checked out their feeds and their typical shows, 3 or 4 panel experts. And I wanted to see what their take was. And this won't surprise you none instantly. It wasn't about Kyle being innocent. It wasn't about the jury making a right decision. Their narrative all was completely what could the prosecutor have done different? Um, what kind of evidence didn't they allow us to see that would have convicted Kyle? You know what I mean? This is white privilege. It's all it is. It's a white guy with a white jury, and they think they can
Yeah,
do whatever they. None of them would come to the fact that the jury is spoken. This is our justice system in action. The man is clearly acted in self-defense, and we're at the end of it. None of them would go there. They were all excuses, blaming it on Wisconsin's law, blaming it on a race car, all that, man. Not none of them that I saw
yeah,
would
and these
acknowledge,
people
reality here.
these people obviously didn't watch a single minute of the trial because or the pre-trial hearings because the judge didn't exclude any evidence, any of it. He was admitting stuff that should have been excluded.
Yeah, well, see, that's part of their narrative. Like, just that Joe Scarborough guy sat there and said Kyle crossed state lines with a gun,
Oh
with an
yeah.
AR-15, when we already to figure that out on day one, and then said he shot like 60 rounds.
Oh, I know what Scarborough
And
said. Yeah.
you're like, come on,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the because when I watched the trial, I watched the whole thing. I was watching it on a channel called Rikita Law. He's a lawyer
I
in
saw I
Minnesota.
saw some of those feeds.
Yeah, and he had a panel of lawyers with him almost the entire time. On verdict day, he had a couple of guys that weren't lawyers. He had well, who was it? He had him and I can't remember the names. Anyway, he had the one guy that's always on that was on Twitter tweeting about the case the whole time. And then he had on who was it? Oh, hell, I can't remember right now. But anyway, the they did a real good cover of the show because basically the trial at this point was a show, and they did really good analysis of everything. If you guys want to go back and watch, because he's got all the stuff up there on Repeal the Law, you can go back and you can watch the entire trial, the replays of his live streams. If you want to see some good analysis from a legal perspective on the case, I totally recommend going and watching his feeds. Let's see.
Uh, do you are you subscribed to Mark Dice? Did you see Mark Dice's video he put out today?
No, I don't think I did. No.
He just pointed out some things uh, across the country. There were some other trials. Uh, there was, and I'm not sure. It might have been Pennsylvania. I'm not sure, but they were saying it showed there was one trial where he was just pointing out the fact that they keep bringing this a white issue. Kyle was white, Jerry was white, and all this and that, and it's racism. I mean, through the court system in America. He just showed a court case where a black guy shot at police officers when they had a search warrant raiding his house for drugs. Uh, he shot at him. They shot back, killed his girlfriend. Tragically. Uh, but they had him up for charges for shooting at the police. He was found by a jury not guilty, and he was black, and he got off and walked by a jury. But where's the news saying this is all racist and stuff?
Yeah, I saw a headline today. Let me see if I can find it again, if it's still on my homepage, where a guy who accused of murdering 18 people got a mistrial declared in his trial. It doesn't look like it's on my feed anymore.
You know, there was probably 50 murder trials probably in America going on right now. You know what I mean? Somewhere, some courthouses somewhere, and the news just picks up on whatever can fit their story to run with.
Hmm.
We got situations going on right here in my town with a child monster, man, and it kind of got me caught up to where like if like the rioting outside of Kyle's courthouse and the mob out there, I don't agree with that, you know. But here at the same time in my town, we got the mob outside the courthouses in the jail here too. But we got a monster, man, that did everything terrible you could think of to a 7-year old girl. So like this community wants blood and justice, man. And now I'm kind of like, yeah, man, I'm kind of with supporting the crowd outside, in belief, because this is a heinous crime.
Hmm.
But it kind of stuck me as a hypocrite, in between both ways, and it's kind of a lightweight excuse, but I think a heinous crime maybe should be looked at differently. Especially if you knew the facts in the case, it would disgust you.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, we got a guy here now that uh, just even for quartering where he's wearing bulletproof vests. Uh, we had we had crowds along the roadways waiting for him for transferring him to court. Mobs outside the courthouse, mobs outside the jails. Uh, People are angry in this community, man. Rightfully so.
Oh yeah, definitely. And take a minute real quick because we had some people come in while we were talking. Of course, Buck was out there, so evening Buck, and Gunpowder, who was already mentioned, evening to you, man. Let's see who else is there. Moo's out there. Uh, Vanessa Kitty, evening to you too, man. And then Rob, who is confused as hell because he says this isn't Sunday. No, we're doing the Sunday show tonight, and tomorrow night we're going to do the wrestling show because we're going to do the wrestling watch along thing. So I figured tonight, instead of doing 2 nights of wrestling show, we do This Week Unloaded tonight, which, believe it or not, this is actually the original time slot that this show was in. So, yeah, they're back home, I guess, for one night this month. So, yeah, there's your reasoning why this is on tonight, Rob. And you do have a link if you want to jump in. At least you should, unless I forgot somebody, which I do from time to time. I don't think there's a standard regular panelist who hasn't been accidentally skipped at some point when it came to throwing the links out there.
I mean, yeah, when Kamala had temporary powers the other day,
Yeah,
I came up with the slogan, "Let's go, Cameron."
yeah. BLM backing Rosenbaum says a lot about their whole organization. Yeah, that guy was a convicted pedophile. Going to your, there's a link between the Rittenhouse and your case in your neck of the woods there, Jason.
What's that?
Yeah, Rosenbaum. He was a pedophile. He was a convicted pedophile. The first guy that
Yeah.
Kyle shot and killed.
Uh-huh. What's that got to do with my neck of the woods?
The case you were just talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you was linking me to
No,
Rosenbaum.
no, no, not
He
linking
was
you.
from here. I thought he
No,
was
I said the
born here.
case.
So,
I said the
okay.
case from your neck of the woods, not you.
Yeah. Rosenbaum looks like a choir boy compared to what happened here.
Well, you know what Rosenbaum was convicted of doing. He
Yeah.
may have hurt other kids that they just don't know about because he was going around dating women so that he could get to their kids. He was selectively seeking out single mothers. This is what his sister said about him. He would select single mothers so that who had small boys so that he could molest the boys when the mothers weren't looking.
Yeah. There's some monsters out there in this world, man. First of all, that Rosenbaum dude should still be in prison. He should
Yeah,
never ever been
no,
let out of
he
prison.
should never have seen the light of day. Louisiana had it right when they passed a law where they could sentence pedophiles to the death penalty, but then you had a court stick their nose into it and throw that law out, saying it was against the Eighth Amendment's restrictions against cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah. Now I'm not talking about like a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old.
No,
Okay. But when it is a child
when you
and the
have
other is an
yeah,
adult, never. There should be no parole, no letting out, no nothing, man. I mean, those
yeah,
people are sick. They're broken in their head, and if you let them out, they will just do it again. There,
Rosen,
there's
Rosen,
just no way that should be allowed to happen.
Rosenbaum served a 15-year sentence for raping 2 boys. Let that sink in. 15 years for ruining the lives of 2 boys.
Two families. Yeah, well, thankfully, thank you, Kyle. God bless you, young man. Uh, we don't have to be afraid of Rosenbaum anymore.
But do you know why Rosenbaum was on the streets that night? He wasn't allowed to go home because his girlfriend had a restraining order against him.
Yeah, man, all of them was wife beaters, man. Uh, Pedophiles. I guess the one dude wasn't like too bad of a criminal record. The bicep guy, but
Mm-hmm.
he paid the price too. Your ass lucky to be alive. Next time, mind your own business.
Well, he lied on the stand. not just
Yeah,
about
yeah.
he about his permit. He said that he had let his permit lapse. When you they dug into it under Keto law towards the end of the trial, his permit had been revoked by the state. He lied on the stand about why he didn't have a permit that night.
Well, he's got something to remember his actions by, don't
Mm.
he?
Evening, Rob.
Good evening, everybody.
So, how much have you heard
Hey, Rob.
about what we were talking about?
Not too much.
Okay.
Just realized you were actually going live or whatnot. So, uh, not long ago. So, popped over. It was over at G23's in the crowd. So, figured they're pretty good over there. So, I jump in over here with your last minute spur of the moment, no notice show.
Well, no, we normally have a show at this time. It's just we flip flopped what days we're doing which show.
Uh huh. Uh huh. It's like finding out there's a party, but you're the last one to get the invitation.
Well, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do the show tonight or not, so I didn't want to throw out any definites because of working at the house and shit. And then the only reason why I was able to do the show tonight is because Amy started feeling ill from having to get the vaccine yesterday because the Biden mandate on healthcare workers if they work for an institution that takes Medicaid or Medicare. So, even though the OSHA one was stopped, that one wasn't because they were two separate mandates. They're claiming
She got
anybody.
the chip. Oh, I mean, she got the shot.
Yeah, she got shot one of the Pfizer.
Damn, the shit people do for money.
Well, hell,
Yeah, I got a friend
no other
local that's
choice
in the
anymore.
system, healthcare system. They got the shot. They're making like 3 times as much and getting worked like a dog for it. So,
Yeah, she feels like shit since she got the shot.
yeah,
Friend of mine.
don't shock me.
Yeah, she
Friend of.
feels like she's got a bad case of the flu, the way she put it.
It ain't for me.
I hope she don't get any worse or have the side effects, man.
Well, she's already had COVID, so I mean, it can't be that. There's got to be something else, you know. But
Whoa, whoa,
what
whoa! Why'd
she's
they make her get the
experienced
shot
far
if she's
from
already got COVID?
yeah. Well, they don't exempt you. They don't because
Well, that's just stupid. Like, it's
yeah, I
more
know it is.
likely.
It's stupid.
Well, duh. Like,
Guess whose
But
idea it was.
guess whose idea
oh
it
my
was? Anthony
goodness.
Fauci's. So of course it's stupid. But I mean, seriously, remember Fauci has literally come out and said natural immunity is not as strong as the vaccine. So I mean, come on, of course they're gonna force people that had it in the past, even though every other study that comes up, nope, I don't want to go too far because I don't want to get a strike. Yeah, I already got one warning from the assholes.
Hey, man, I been on texting all day with a little friend of mine, guy I work with. He's 19 and he goes to his uncle's farm and he shoots pistols. Okay, and he keeps showing me like he's sending me. I didn't steer this boy in any direction. He come to me, telling me he wanted a Beretta pistol, right? And he sends me ads, from the store prices. Is this a good price? What's this one model? What's the difference and stuff? But he wants a Beretta, and he's got some little YouTube videos, and he's shooting his uncle or somebody's Beretta, and he wants one, but he's only 19. And I was like telling him, well, you want to get this model, but they're hard to get. And he's like, well, man, if you find one, you buy it. I'll give you extra money for it. And I'm like, oh, I'd love to, buddy, but I get in a lot of trouble for that. I can't just do that. You're not 21. And he was all like, well, it's what? There, 21. I was like, just so you know, for the record, all these gun laws were made by the Democrats. Just breaking them in right now, just letting him know.
That's
Yeah, it
what I want to
sucks.
know.
That ain't fair, but it's because of the Democrats' gun laws. And then I told him, I said, Joe Biden don't want you or me to have a gun, because I know him and his people and his family, they loved Obama and they probably voted for Biden and stuff. And I'm like, letting him know right now, you can't have your gun. You can't have your freedom, can you? Don't blame me. Blame them.
You said he was shooting at his dad's place? Or
I got a text. I think it says Uncle's Ranch or Uncle's Farm here or whatever. I've seen some videos of it.
Technically, not trying to break any laws or anything, but the uncle or dad could probably buy it and use it on the property. And
but he was
they
asking
decide
me.
to give it to him
to buy it and sell it to
at
him.
21.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
No, I can't do that.
I've had people ask things like that too, and it's like, you don't mind helping people out, but they got to understand, certain things got to be done a certain way.
He's kind of hinting at too. He's wanting me selling one of mine too, because I got so many. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he's hoping for private sale.
Yeah, I can't.
Even then, that would be a straw purchase.
Yeah, can't do it here.
Yeah, if you were to sell it to his parent, they could gift it to him, because the federal law states that you have to be 21 to buy a handgun, but you could be 18 to own one. The reason why you can be 18 to own one is because of police officers.
Probably a legal way, but
it's there's still Ohio law, man. You're skating around it here. You know what I mean? Oh, I just sell it to his father or this or that.
Hey, what happens after you
legally? Then it's up to his father or whatever.
They're kind of skating around it.
That's not a straw purchase, because legally the father can gift the gun to his son, so that is not a straw purchase.
Well, it's legal. It's legit.
That is 100% legal.
And morally, it's on you, or on them too, in a sense. So you're doing everything legal. If the father or uncle's a dumbass, then that's on them, not you.
Yep. We've been joined out there by the great Cornelio. So, evening, sir.
Yeah, it's another one of these instances. I feel like a hypocrite because I may or
you are. It's kind of shitty, man.
Yeah, I may or not have been the owner of handguns at a younger age than accepted, but and I may have bought my very first gun, believe it or not, at high school. So there was a whole shitload of laws we all broke right then and there. So, but I believe statute of limitations is up on it.
Yeah, it's a misdemeanor.
Yeah, but
in most states anyway. Some states it's a felony.
I was less than 21, and I had a motorcycle, and I traded it for Ruger 44 Magnum Blackhawk. Didn't go through, a store. It was a private deal. You know what I mean? But we didn't have the internet back then. I didn't know about these laws. This was way before the Clinton gun laws anyway, so I don't even know if it was really a crime back then.
Well, just out of curiosity, did you get that gun and run out and start committing crimes?
No.
Yeah,
is that why you got the gun, to go commit crimes?
Is it a crime to blow up cinder blocks with it and 4x4 posts?
No.
Do you own them? Is it your cinder blocks and posts?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you shooting the neighbors?
Oh, no, it was our own targets.
Sure. Well, I wouldn't see it as a crime. So just point, just
it wasn't too fun on my young wrist, though. I'll tell you that.
And real quick, a reminder, because we're going to end the poll soon. Don't forget, if you're out there, and put your answer in the poll. And for those of you who may not know, MSM stands for mainstream media. We already had one person get confused about that, but so just want to clarify that is what the abbreviation is for. So so the whole question would read: should the Rittenhouses sue the mainstream media, basically for defamation of character and whatnot?
Of course they should.
Hey, I wasn't a total dick to my little friend, though, man. I told him if he gets one, I would fix it up with him for some parts and stuff.
Well, you could always locate one if there is one local, and then just tell him where it is and leave it up to him. Maybe he can,
Yeah, he's been
if
searching.
you're
He's been searching
morally
like
conscious, yeah.
he's been searching like these gun brokers and places like that,
Yeah.
sending me links, and I'm like, no, that's not a good price, man.
So yeah, before you got jumped in here, Rob, we were talking about the complications that would arise from attempting to sue the mainstream media in Kyle Rittenhouse's case.
I don't know all the details, but I think slander, defamation of character, I know there's a few markers you have to hit to meet that, and there's different laws in different states, but if it's true, because I don't really watch the mainstream media, to be honest. Like, occasionally I'll catch it or something, but it's not something I do as a ritual. So, if they are labeling him as a white supremacist or this or that, or, still saying he's a murderer after this trial, I think it's, it seems pretty clear cut to me. It's going to possibly ruin his reputation as well as put him in danger, and it's all false, and the case ran its course. The public was able to witness it, so I mean, it's
the problem.
You have your opinion, and you can state
there's the
what
key.
you like, but as a news organization,
that's the key.
You would think they'd. I know they do opinion pieces and, news. So I guess you would have to be careful what you're watching. If you're talking about like The View or something like that, that's, obviously all opinion piece type stuff. So, but if they're out there stating this is what happened with the trial, like, news, and they're still calling him a murderer or white supremacist, then I would feel he has a case, but I'm not an attorney.
Did we wake you up, pacifist? Is that what's going on with that now?
No, it's Saturday night, man. I'm up.
Oh, you got the gun snoring pacifist. So I thought maybe
What's up, man?
What's up? How's it going?
How the hell did that happen?
You didn't even notice it?
So I take it I fell asleep during the after chat last night.
I don't know. Remember, I had to leave early.
I don't know how that happened. Shit. That's it's not. It wouldn't be the first time if that happened, because I woke up at about 3 a.m. on my couch and I'm like, oh shit, did I log out of the chat last night?
Yeah, I couldn't help you with that one. I don't know. I wasn't there if you did.
Yeah, your avatar says the gun snoring pacifist on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like who was that? John Wesley Hardin or whatever once shot a man for snoring.
Yep, snoring too loud on a train.
Oh, me and my brother, man, we snore really loud.
Oh, you haven't heard me?
I've been tested for apnea, though. I don't have sleep apnea. I just snore really loud.
Yeah, that's my wife, too. She's been tested for it, but she just snores loud. They've checked her for a deviated septum and everything, and she just is a loud snorer.
I have to
You knew that and still married her? What the hell's wrong with you?
No, it's gotten worse as she's gotten older, which is why they thought she had sleep apnea.
Shit, I had a friend growing up that snored like horrible, like a chainsaw type shit. And I used to like kick him like down a room, like he'd be down in a hall and shit by the end of the night. Like I always regretted having him come over. Didn't matter where he was in the house, you could just hear it. It's horrible.
I have to repaint my ceilings every few months because I suck the paint right off of them.
I know I snore loud, and that's got to be a killer. But man, I've had 2 different relationships where my old lady grinded their teeth. Oh, I hate that worse than snoring, man.
Oh, that just, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Mm-hmm. Well, evening, Pat.
Good evening. How's everybody out there tonight?
Oh, you're roboting, man.
hold on.
Yeah, the occasional snore when somebody's sick or something, that's one thing. But every night, like, I'd imagine I'd be one of them couples that had like a separate bedroom or something. Yeah,
Well,
because there's no way I could deal with that shit.
I
I
snore
gotta wait
really
for one
bad
of the
on
kids
nights
to
that
move
I'm.
out.
What's that,
I'm
Rich?
sorry. I said I gotta wait for one of the kids to move out before I can do that.
I snore really loud when I'm like really tired. And on Friday nights, I work. I get up probably about 4:15 in the morning, and I work a 12, 13-hour day. So
You guys tried like the nasal strips and shit like that?
I only snore like really bad when I'm really tired and overworked.
Yeah, she can't wear them because she's allergic to latex.
I'm
You
either
break your face out.
snoring or farting, man. So I'm making noises out of one end to the other.
Drop stuff on his gun.
Yeah, you sound better now, Pat.
All right. Hopefully this works.
But getting back to the topic, Rob, you nailed it with the opinion thing. That's where all the problems are going to come in if they attempt to sue the media. Because if you look at most of the ones that were saying that and are still saying that he's a murderer and all that, it's all their opinion people, all the commentators, and it's not the anchors. Where Sandman got them,
It
was the anchors. It
makes sense. I mean, on their part of it, you know, it's obviously to run it on those things, and then everybody's still going to associate it with the brand or whatever. But legally, they can probably try to get away with it.
Yep.
Well, after that Sandman deal, they trying to cover their ass a little bit more since, that kid's set up for life now.
Yeah. Because
I think he should write a book.
Yeah,
personally, I would wait on some of these shows, hold out, get somebody serious to help you write a book, and then go through it. And you could write a couple books on this, and he could be set. Everybody'd be hooked.
Well, I totally agree with you too, Rob, because I mean, I know he's going to Arizona State and he wants to be a nurse and everything, but I hate to say it, but who, unless it's in a red state, who's going to hire him?
Well, he's already got multiple offers.
I'd hire him.
Does he?
Yeah. I think that's a 50-50. People love or hate him.
Well, fill me in. Who's he got the offers from then?
So he's got multiple offers from political offices to go to work for conservative candidates and office holders and whatnot.
You got to stop and think
about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You got to stop and think this way too. He's picking the right field because there is a nursing shortage right now. So even if people may want to be leery about hiring him because of the political and media baggage that comes along with it, they need nurses.
Right.
But he could legally change his name, move somewhere a little bit different, and nobody's really. I mean, there's going to be people or whatever in a sense that'll assume or whatever, but on his day to day, he could probably blend in a lot better. But yet, he could still benefit with something like a book or something like that comes off from it. Not benefit, but kind of give his story in a sense to hopefully recover some of, the stress, trauma, all this other bullshit he's been through. Because I'm sure everybody's going to want to hear his story at some point. So that's why I think it kind of sucks he's going on Tucker Carlson from what I hear. So
yeah, he's going on Carlson.
I just don't like that because it can be chopped up and made for whatever. And I know
I don't
a lot
think
of people
so,
love Tucker Carlson, but whatever. Media is media. I'd rather it just came from
not
him.
Going to chop it because he was a big supporter of Kyle the whole time.
Either way, I'd rather get it from the horse's mouth and his own meaning and words and myself. But that's just me. You know what I mean?
My point is, if he's going to talk to any of the media, Tucker Carlson may be the right choice. Another one would be maybe like Steven Crowder or Glenn Beck.
Yeah. All three of the big ones.
You'll have people disliking it because it was on Crowder or Glenn Beck or Carlson or Crowder. That's it. Muddies the water or something. You know what I mean? Let them all look at the facts of it or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to look at the results of the poll. Sorry, don't mean to cut you off, Pat. This will only take a second. So the yes got 85% of the vote. No got 7%, and we're going to give Gary a spiritual yes on that one because he misunderstood what mainstream media meant. Sorry. Again, that was my bad. Sorry. So we got 14 votes. We'll say 86% were yes and 7% were no. You know, we all know that YouTube can't math. So,
Right.
85 and 14 equals 99. So, yeah.
Unless it's an odd number.
What a shocker that poll was.
Yeah. If he's going to go after anybody, he's going to have to be very picky on who he actually goes after. He's going to have somebody figure out exactly the highest probability, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. In the words of Ronald Coleman, I don't know if you guys know who Ron Coleman is. He's a big-time civil litigator who handles defamation cases. No. He tells all his clients up front,
you have no case.
No, they shouldn't sue. You don't have a case until he looks into it and proves he has a case. He will not take a case until he can prove to himself that there is a case there. And he is saying, he flat out said right now, as it sits, Rittenhouse does not have a case.
Yep. And that's exactly what the guy probably should do. It says, you have no case. You go from the bottom and go up. I mean, pretty much is what he was getting after.
And his reasoning is the reasons I've been saying the whole show. None of the anchors can be confirmed to have said that he murdered anybody, particularly after the trial, as point of fact. Everybody that has said this has said it was a commentator who said it as a matter of their opinion. So at this point, until they can find the one anchor or one commentator who literally said it as point of fact, there's no case.
Well, even after the fact, they're still calling him a murderer. They're still saying that he murdered two people. Even after he was found innocent.
Yeah, but it's still being structured as opinion. They have to literally say that it was factual that he did this. They're still parsing it to where it can be argued as opinion.
Yep. And that's what sucks about the whole deal, is because this kid has been through the frickin' ringer, and thank God that, you know, he's not in jail and not going to jail and everything. But everybody on this panel knows just as well as I do that this kid's still got a long road ahead of him. He really does. And I hope that he comes out on the other side. And I don't know if anybody's hit on this yet tonight, but did you see what the Gun Owners of America is going to do for him?
They're giving him an AR, last I saw.
Yep. They are going to present it to him sometime next week. So that way he is not disarmed. And from what I followed on it, as they're giving him an AR and they're getting him some ammo to go along.
What happens to the M&P? Does he get the M&P back?
Sure does.
He should, yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Not yet. Not yet.
It's still evidence in the case against his friend, who's, by the way, since the underage charge was thrown by the judge, every charge against that guy should be thrown as well, because at that point it ceases to be a straw purchase.
Okay.
Yep.
And two, it would go back to his friend because technically it was in his name.
Yeah, it goes back to the original owner.
Yep, exactly.
Dominic Black,
I'm sure
Dominic
everybody's
Black's
going to jump in
decided
and
to get
try
it
to
from
give
him.
him this or that as an award to get pictures with him, and this for PR purposes. But
I hope they give him an AR that's got a laser pointer on it.
Yeah.
I hope they give him some guidance. Yeah,
I don't know. I saw
that's more important.
I saw a pretty factual meme on the internet that showed the judge throwing him back the M&P as he walked out of the courtroom. So I think he has it already.
No, it's in an evidence locker somewhere.
Yeah. Well, in which, you know, I can see it both ways coming from the GOA. getting him a gun and getting the photo op and everything on it. Which I understand. I mean, everybody's out to do what they can and look good at the same time. But just like Rob was saying, hopefully there goes with a little bit of guidance and stuff, and just he played it well. I mean, he looked really good on the stand. Don't get me wrong. Actually, he probably did more for his defense than what his damn defense did.
Yeah, and that wasn't an act. The kid is suffering from PTSD. He goes to counseling every day or every 3 days a week, something like, I forget how many times. But he's going to counseling multiple times a week because he is suffering from PTSD from this. If you saw when the verdict was read, his lawyer had to catch him when the last verdict came in because he fell. He literally he couldn't stand up anymore. His legs just gave out and he just collapsed.
He started breaking down after the third verdict. You could see
his first verdict, he was okay. Which honestly, I thought he was going to break up on that first one because the first one was the worst. That was the first degree against Rosenbaum. I thought for sure.
Keep in mind, he was, in my opinion, he wasn't even looking for a fight. Like, it wasn't like he was trying to, instigate or, in my opinion, begging for a fight. He tried resisting the whole way, ended up shooting 3 people, killed, 2? Dealing with that. Everybody knows his face. Everybody knows his name. Lots of people, the media, probably his family, are probably looking at him like he's a criminal. Some of them. I mean, this kid's, he's going to have issues. So that's why I'm with changing your name, laying low, switching out, man. Like, no matter whether, I mean, it's great he won, but he's still got a lot of shit to deal with, like you're saying. So, so that's a lot of baggage. I mean, even his future girlfriend's parents, like, that's going to be an issue. Not always, but it's going to be in the back of the mind in some cases, whether it's going to be a problem or not. And at this point, statistically, that might be a 50-50. So, as crazy as that side is, he's better off playing shit safe.
Yeah, no, definitely. And real quick, let's say evening to Ozzy, who's out there, and he says he has to get a Floyd card if he's still living in Illinois. Well, the good news about that is he's going to be moving to Arizona because he's been accepted into Arizona State's nursing program.
Oh, right on. Congratulations, Oz.
Not Ozzy.
Kyle,
man.
See, and the fact that we know that is already a bad thing.
I've got kids screaming in the background, so I'm listening to 2 different conversations.
What did you say, Rob? Sorry.
I was just saying the simple fact that we all know that is already a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about people who don't listen to reason, people who can watch a case and still want to say the people he had to defend himself from are heroes. I mean, you got nutty people out there on drugs with his location. I'd be concerned if I was him.
Yeah, they literally called those guys heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard it mentioned the other day. It might have been Squib was on a chat and mentioned it. But, the one thing Kyle doesn't need to do is become the next George Zimmerman.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to stay out of trouble. He doesn't need to be involved in any more
needs
firearm-related violence instances. He doesn't need to be beating up his girlfriend or anything. He needs to be, walk a fine line. You know what I mean? Not that you should do any things anyways, but I mean, he needs to count his blessings now and go move on with his life and don't get caught back up in this stuff because any other instances and the media, everybody's going to be right back on it.
Yeah, he needs to lay low as much as possible. Problem is,
lay
he's
low.
going to be a public figure for the rest of his life, which is why we know that he's been accepted to Arizona State. While we know he's going to nursing school because his lawyer said it in the post-trial press conference.
Well, would you guys bet that he's probably going to carry a gun at some point? Legally.
If he's living in Arizona, he probably is.
Yeah. So now, would you also bet that there isn't a group of people out there that aren't going to try to egg their friends on to start an incident, and then start cameras on his reaction, and then try to make him look like the aggressor and everybody had it wrong, and turn him into a Zimmerman? Like,
Kids
yeah.
evil.
He needs to be careful, like real careful. I don't know if he's ready for that level.
I changed my name, try to change my looks, and don't bring it up.
Get plastic surgery. I mean, if they
Well,
depending on how much money they got, whatever. Depending on how
grow
much
a
money they got
beard,
left in the legal.
dye your hair.
Yeah. Well, seriously, depending on how much money is left in the legal fund, and that's another court case, by the way, that they're going to have to fight is who gets that money. But if it's awarded to him, which it could potentially be, get some. I mean, it sounds crazy. Plastic surgery. Change your looks as much as possible, so that you're not as recognizable on the street. Because
he could say something stupid at a party 2 years from now, and it's going to be mainstream news.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I photographed with the wrong people, like he already had, or anything. Yeah, he needs to just lay low, disappear.
Well, that photograph is one of the reasons why his original lawyer is not his original lawyer anymore. That was his original lawyer's doing. Which was a bad move from that. He's lucky that didn't bite him in the ass.
Yeah, that was after he got paroled the first time, right? He was out at a bar having a beer with his parents, and he gave somebody
the lawyer took him and his family out after he got released on bail. And
that's the other problem. He's a young single dude. Like, throughout life, you better be careful with these girls too, who they could be working for.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he's going to have to look over his shoulder every single time he steps foot out of whatever house he comes out of, and that sucks because the kid did the right thing. I mean, how many people put in that situation is going to have the trigger discipline and everything he did?
Get this, with very little, if any, prior shooting training whatsoever.
Yeah, his
composure. Good restraint.
Rifle to the range once.
His composure that night and throughout the entire trial and the entire scenario was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He tried to get away. He tried not to. He like legally in some states. I can't say for the state he was in, but he could have shot a lot sooner than he did, and a hell of a lot more people. But he didn't.
Yeah, yep. I think it was on Budget Show last night where I made a joke with Clover that Clover needs to get this kid to Texas and train him to be a damn competitive shooter with that kind of trigger control and stuff without having any kind of training. Imagine if this kid got some kind of formal training, he'd be a hell of a goddamn competitive shooter with his the way he reacted under the pressure he was under. Like 2-gun, 3-gun.
Situational awareness when he was on his back and he was responding to the threats all around him at 365 degree, like all around him was unbelievable.
Yeah. He had to have a concussion with that skateboard hit.
He had the perfect tool.
Well, the skateboard hit, the kick to the face.
Yeah. Because he had to have been at least mildly concussed at that point.
He fired 2 shots at that guy that kicked him in the head, but he missed both shots.
He missed both. Yeah, it's the only 2 shots he missed.
Seriously, man, it's a testament to the AR rifle. They wanted to keep bringing up. They couldn't say rifle. They couldn't say gun. They had to be the AR rifle. Shows to its perfect as the tool that it is. Easy to use, accurate, and effective. Because if he'd had a Glock or something that night, his ass would probably be dead. At the very least, they would have charged him with littering.
Well, I mean,
I thought the Glock guy got his arm blown off.
Yep.
No, vaporized. He got his
vaporized.
That's where he vaporized my bicep.
Bicep.
That is a quote from when from Grosskreutz when he was on the stand. The prosecutor showed him the picture. He said, "That's where he vaporized my bicep."
Well, statistically, rifles are a lot more effective. I mean, when you look at handgun shooting, most people that get shot by a handgun survive. You know what I mean? There's cases where people have been shot like 12 times and live. Not all necessarily at once, but
7 out of 10 pistol victims.
Rifles another story though. So it is a good thing he had a rifle over a handgun, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and another thing, I'm glad that even though he picked up the cheapest sling that he could, what they had on hand,
He's lucky he had it.
he had something, a retention device on him when he was falling and stumbling around and getting hit and everything. You know damn well his hands had to have come off that rifle at some point in time.
Yeah, it saved him when he was
body
in motion there, and the guy was reaching for it and stuff. I mean, it definitely helped.
Yeah.
Thank God for a sling. Thank God he had the kid did just.
You weren't getting a sling like that on a Glock.
No, but real quick, I want to say hi to Mike out there. MK Outdoor Journal. Evening, sir.
It took her long enough.
You have a link if you want to jump in for a little bit, Mike. I don't know if you're able to or not.
But no, I'm just glad that everybody found him not guilty. Everybody looked at the evidence. And I was actually on a stream since day 2 or 3, Rakita Law.
Yeah, I had put their link out there earlier.
One I followed the whole time since day 2 or 3. And I mean, the kid did everything right. I mean, you can debate all day long whether he should have been there or not, but he had, right. He, just like anybody else, he could be there, blah, 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 blah. But as far as a self-defense shooting, I don't think there's, out of all those attorneys and everybody that said nothing has ever been documented that well with all the footage and everything, it was a slam dunk. I mean, as far as the self-defense shooting goes.
Yeah, and thank God for the footage.
Yeah,
all
there's
that,
so much video.
all that footage out there. If not for the footage, he would have been in jail. He would have been rotting in prison for the next 20, 30 years.
No.
Because they would have spun it a certain way.
Right. Speaking of footage, the footage that the prosecution messed around with.
Oh, God. Assholes.
Now, if they would have came back with a hung jury or a guilty verdict, there were still 2 motions for dismissal out there, one with and one without prejudice. You think the judge would have ruled on either one of them?
No, he was a weenie. I think he was a decent, probably honest judge, but he was an absolute weenie. He should have dismissed that. He should have what do you call it?
Well, after the Fifth Amendment violations, it should have been gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should have been a mistrial with prejudice
Yep.
probably 4 or 5 times before it went to the jury. But
Which
he
is
wanted
why if they would have came back as a mistrial, or I think he would have had to have ruled on one of those mistrial things, because when it comes back as a hung jury, it's automatically a mistrial.
No, he would have sat on his hands.
No,
if he was going to act
the
on those, he would have acted on those already. He wanted it to go to the jury, and he wanted it to.
It goes to
be a
the jury. The
resolution.
jury comes back as a hung jury. He has no choice at that point but to declare a mistrial. Now, whether he would declare it as a mistrial with prejudice or without prejudice is a question. And he also was hoping the jury would fix the problem for him, because that was exactly what he said.
Exactly.
Which makes me wonder, but that does beg the question on whether he would have ruled on either of those.
He would not have ruled. He would not have ruled that way, because he allowed the jury to consider lesser charges, which is an absolute dick move by that judge.
No, the judge has to when the prosecution applies them. The prosecution under Wisconsin law gets to submit the lesser charges, and the defense can object to them. The defense objected to some of them, but not all of them, which is why the judge asked Cal directly if he agreed with not objecting to the rest of the lesser charges.
Yep.
So that was due to Wisconsin law that the lesser charges were allowed to be considered.
Yeah, there's a lot of states that have that, where lesser charges, if the prosecution submits them, have to be considered.
So I thought that was the judge himself that.
No,
Nope. Nope. Rich, you must have watched as much as I did on that one.
Yes, I did. I watched the whole thing on Rakita Law, dude. I'm not.
Okay, because it was good. If you guys ever go and watch something that is televised as far as legal wise, they had some of the best legal minds in there, especially on self-defense.
Oh
law.
yeah, they had Andrew Bronca on there. I don't know if there's anybody out there that knows more about self-defense law than Andrew Bronca. To be perfectly honest with you, he is one of the top self-defense lawyers in the country.
His book is already on my way to my house.
You got one of the free ones, huh?
Yes.
I don't have the money right now to pay the shipping and handling, or I would have.
Because that guy had more knowledge than that whole group combined. And don't get me wrong, because everybody else studies in different kinds of law.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, man, that guy's got a great legal mind when it comes to self-defense. So if you guys ever want to look at somebody in a self-defense, and I'd highly recommend, his book is free. All you have to do is pay shipping and handling on it. Go to
the Law of Self-Defense / free book.
Yes.
lawofselfdefense.com / free book.
Nah, man, he just get Black's Law. And then he just, you don't have the authority to arrest me. It works every time.
Yeah, uh-huh.
It's all
Okay.
citizen.
That won't even get you out of a ticket, Rob.
I don't grant you the authority. Rich White told me, you got any problems, you call him, buddy.
That's when you get a step out of the car, sir.
Let me see your driver's license and your white privilege card.
But another
what you
one.
need my papers for?
Yeah, but honestly, Rakita had three very prominent and nationally known lawyers: Andrew Bronca, which we already talked about, Robert Barnes,
Yep,
and Ronald Coleman, who I had mentioned earlier. These guys are extremely busy guys, and they took time out to be on that stream.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot, yeah. And he had lawyers on there from every aspect. He had patent lawyers on. I mean, there was a bit. I mean, they were discussing things. They would get into arguments with each other over what they thought should happen. I mean, it was a really good stream. If you guys, honestly, if you want to watch the Rittenhouse trial, if you haven't seen any of the Rittenhouse trial yourselves, go back and watch every one of the Rakita Law streams if you got time. And the knowledge that is being handed down by these lawyers is amazing.
Yeah, they even had Hogue Law, which was virtual law on there.
He does like video game law and stuff, yeah.
And as soon as that video game deal came up, he was pissed.
Oh, yeah. Nice pacifist.
You play Call of Duty, right? Well, I've played it a couple times. Well, do you know that what gun this is? And I was like, oh, God, this guy's going to lose his mind. And he did. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, when Good Logic and Uncivil Law got into it over the First Amendment issue.
Yep.
About how close the protesters should be allowed near the courthouse. And I got to tell you what, I was with Good Logic on that the whole way.
Yep. Yeah, because the defense could have backed them up if they requested it, but they didn't, because they could. When the jury went into deliberation, that's when they got noisy.
Yeah, it's my opinion, strictly my opinion, but the Eighth Amendment right to a fair trial of the defendant outweighs the media's right to a free press. I'm sorry, or the protesters' right to protest.
It
If there's an issue about whether that defendant is going to get a free trial or people outside get to run their mouths, those people outside are going to back up 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
This whole case kind of gave me a little look and thought about, what if myself or something was ever on, a self-defense trial or whatever. When you look at the prosecutor and see, the tricks that he tried to pull, just the things, the actual ignorance of a firearm and the ammunition, but all the tricks and the stuff they're going to try to play that, like, even better, your jury probably doesn't. Some of that was kind of scary. You know what I mean?
Well, it was sleazy tactics.
Yeah,
Binger,
sleazy for sure.
But Binger is known to be a sleazy lawyer. This isn't the first time that he's tried somebody on a self-defense case in Kenosha.
You can tell by looking at him.
I don't know if
not to be dick,
Okay.
but sometimes when just by looking at somebody.
Yeah,
Great reminder to get self-defense insurance, folks. Stuff like this.
Real quick, I want to say hi to Ghost Tactical. He's out there. But,
Sorry, we're not gonna switch this stuff around.
Pat, you're not muted, man.
Sorry, I've got my daughter and her friend are playing Fortnite on the TV. So, sorry.
No, this security guy talk to them to mute. That's all I'm asking. Okay, I'm not yelling at you. Thank you.
No, I wouldn't.
But I was gonna say I don't know if you saw where they were talking about that case or not, because they talked about that on Rakita Law. I don't know if you saw that part, but Binger had tried a trucker in Kenosha for pulling a gun on 3 thugs who tried robbing him, trying to claim that he was illegally carrying the gun across state lines and therefore his right to self-defense was not valid because 3 guys at a truck stop in Kenosha tried robbing him at knife point.
Nice.
USCCA.
Hell yeah, Rob! I get USCCA. I recommend that to everybody.
Yeah, there was another one that Bronca mentioned, Andrew Bronca. Do you remember what it was, Pat?
Say that again, Rich. Sorry, I had 2 different conversations in my ear.
The other self-defense insurance that Andrew Bronca recommended, because he said they cover everything, whereas USCCA, you only get a set amount depending on your coverage. This other one that Andrew Bronca recommended covers everything. There is no limit monetarily to what they will cover as far as your legal fees. Do you remember what it was?
Well, that's cool, but you got to check all the details. And then on average, a case
he brought up
amount.
USCCA, and he said this one is better than USCCA for that reason.
But he's probably trying to get money out of it. I don't make a dime from USCCA. Go check them out for yourself. But
this is the company he uses, and he is like the predominant self-defense lawyer in the country.
The network for USCCA is unbelievable, and they give you training videos on a weekly basis that you can study, and you know exactly what to do in any type of scenario.
Yeah, his point was USCCA is good. This company's better because you don't got a limit. His problem with USCCA was that they limit how much you can get depending on what your membership level is.
Yeah,
like if you're at the base level, you only get 250,000. That could be 3 days of work.
But that's just it. I mean, like with any insurance, you get what you pay for.
You have the option to get
the company that he said he uses. There is no limit. There's no membership levels. There's just one base level, and it's an unlimited amount that they'll cover on your legal
That's
fees.
Cool, but it still doesn't do everything USCCA does, where it covers a spouse, where you can use your hands or any other legal weapon.
Yes, he says it's just like USCCA, but they don't have the payment limit.
Well, like I said, I'd look in and check details. I'm a detail guy, but I think USCCA is great, and the levels they offer. Like I was a platinum member until the state said I couldn't have it because they called it murder insurance or something. But needless to state, that would cover, even in New York, should well cover a normal situation. Obviously, if it was something top of the news and it turned out to be a political ordeal, it may not cover that, but in average states it would easily cover it, because there is an average on what it costs in normal self-defense cases, throughout states, and states like mine is more.
How much is the top coverage on the platinum? Is that like $1 million?
I had a 1.5 million and $1.25 million.
Okay, here's the issue with that. Okay, that $1.5 million may cover your initial trial. if you
Right,
get if you get a
depending
hung
on the
jury and
case,
you have
but that depends where you are too. Because in New York, it's about 80 grand, 70 grand is what the usual case on average turns out to be. If I'm a political pawn, then of course the cost could go up. But in other states, it's a lot cheaper on average. I think it's 55 or 60,000.
Yeah, that that 1.5 million would have covered Kyle Rittenhouse's trial. That's it. If he would have, if that jury would have been hung, and he was just going on USCCA insurance to pay for his fees, he wouldn't have been able to pay for the retrial.
True. Maybe not, but
well, no, they flat out said it because
right. But at that point, as a political pawn, hopefully people would buy my displays, and I'd be able to afford my defense.
Yeah, at that point, you're getting like GoFundMe accounts and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's where USCCA can fall short, is the fact that they do have those limits on legal fee. Like I was saying, if you have the base amount, which is what their bronze plan, I think they call it, that's only 250 grand. That could be a week's worth of work, and that 250,000 is gone.
Right.
True. But I think it's unlikely. I'd say I definitely check the best for everybody individually.
Well, no, that's not unlikely. That's good. Your initial consultation and the initial research, 250 grand is nothing in a criminal case. That money's gone like that.
Here.
I want Ashley. She's a parent manager thing.
See this? This is a deal. Clearance items, Reese's, with an employee discount. Like, bam.
Was that the Halloween ones?
What's that?
Was that the Halloween ones?
Yep. Reese's bats. Halloween bats.
You were supposed to give those out to the little kids, man.
That's an after the fact, man. Jeez, what do you want to do? Put them in a freezer and save them until next year?
Good stuff.
And you wonder why the neighborhood kids hit your car with fireworks and egg and toilet paper and stuff. It's because you're supposed to give that candy away, man.
But people don't realize just how much a criminal prosecution or a criminal defense, I should say, costs you. Because most people won't have to go through it, so you don't understand the cost. The cost,
but it doesn't. Every case isn't a Rittenhouse case, though. You know what I mean? So on average, it's
on average. Yeah, we're talking the average case. That 250 grand will be gone in at least in a week.
Yeah, it's much cheaper just to be guilty.
That's why you get a lot of people that plead guilty to lesser charges, because they don't have the money to take it to court.
Then step up a level. I think what I pay like $18 a month for $1.5 million. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that's debatable. Personally,
right now,
I'm not rich.
It, Rob.
You know what I mean?
Rob,
but
I can't afford $18 a month on carrier insurance right now.
Do you have cable?
We have cable because my kids need it for school. They pay the cable bill.
Well, what's more valuable, a parent?
I don't pay the cable bill. The kids do.
All right. Well, I'm just priorities. I think it's $18 or $20 is affordable.
Yeah,
I don't want to compare the difference and the likelihood. But I live in a bad, my area stuff happens all the time. $20 is a good deal.
If my oldest two weren't living at home, I probably would not have the internet right now.
Well, you could sell a gun if you got more than one.
I don't have money not to pay the bill every month.
Well, no, you could. You could sell a gun. I can't
work right now, so our income is my wife's income and my VA disability, which isn't much because I still am not able to work.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, there's ways to do it. You could do it. It could be done.
You could go hooking. I'd do it, but I'm scared of the dark.
Get yourself an O-light, Jason.
Yeah, I heard the job's not bad. It's got a lot of ups and downs.
You could bang 300 ugly chicks for about for $100 a pop.
Only need $18 a month, man.
If it wasn't for the Biden inflation on everything going up, I'd have carrier insurance right now because I had it before. But when everything started to go up, we had to figure what we could get away with dropping, and that was the first thing because it's
Well,
not
it's just
a legal requirement. Where like car insurance is a legal requirement, you can't drop the car insurance.
the state for the average guy, or average American, average person that's buying fast food, has an expensive phone, car payment, all that, whatever the case may be. In most cases, you can come up with $20 a month. So, you know what I mean? Maybe not everybody in every situation, but it all falls back to priorities. What's the likelihood of things and this and that? Maybe for some people it's not worth it.
The main issue right now is paying rent and a mortgage while we get the other house set up. Once we're moved out of here, then I'll have a little extra money every month.
See, to me, I think cable's an extra. I'm not trying to start problems or nothing. I'm really not. I'm just stating. To you, you feel it's a necessity. No, I feel it's an extra. So
it's a necessity for two reasons. And not the cable itself, not the TV part of it, but the internet. My kids need that for school. They absolutely need it for school. And my wife has to have a landline phone. And our landline phone is through cable. If we just had the internet and the phone through cable, we'd be paying more than what we are with the package we have right now.
So if your freedom depended on it, you couldn't come up with $20 a month.
Right now, until we get out of here, no. Until we move to the other place, no. We are on a shoestring budget right
now. If
you
were sitting in jail tomorrow in a Rittenhouse case, would you be like, damn, I should have sold one of my guns?
I would be fucked if I got into a Rittenhouse situation right now.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. But insurance is worth it. You don't need it until you need it.
With a lot better stand your ground laws than Wisconsin has too. And we don't have a binger as a district attorney.
What are you going to do when your wife's boyfriend comes home to kick your ass?
She ain't got time to have a boyfriend on the side. With her work schedule, man, she ain't got time for that.
I've heard about them nurses.
You have no idea how many hours my wife is working right now.
Yeah, you're probably her side thing, like second side thing. One of them is going to get all pissed off, show up at the door. You're going to have to legally defend yourself. Go to prison.
Are you projecting, man? Is there something you want to tell us?
Hey, man, I don't know what the laws are there, but I believe here, if it's your house and your wife, you can blast the dude, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, anybody who comes onto your property uninvited and they're trying to break into your door, they are automatically considered a threat in the state of West Virginia, whether they are armed or not.
Not in New York State, unfortunately. I have to be in fear for my life and get trapped on my way out.
You have to get killed before you can kill somebody.
Pretty much. And then I'm still going to go to jail and we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll get released.
They'll grab you for processing and put you in jail.
What about that prosecutor for Kyle, though, that said he should have just took a beating like a man? Put up them pictures of Roadhouse and stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah. I thought hand your gun over and take a beating.
He brought a gun to a fist fight.
They put up the pictures of Roadhouse, and I was thinking, like, remember in that Roadhouse movie, Dalton killed a man in Memphis or whatever?
Yeah, and ripped his throat out.
I was waiting for them to put, like, that picture up and stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's what Rosenbaum was going to try and do to Cal. That's why he shot him.
Yeah. You ever seen a trial where they put up a picture of a movie scene?
No.
If the movie ain't on trial, of course. You know
no, when I was in school, we watched various trials. I never saw the prosecution or the defense have a TV in the courtroom where they put scenes from a movie on the screen. Now, we did watch My Cousin Vinny in my one law class, and the professor was like, see, this is how this works. This is how this works. Because they actually did a very good job in My Cousin Vinny with the courtroom procedural parts of it. They did a very good job. Whoever their technical advisor for that was, did a very good job.
The two Utes.
Like the two what? The two what?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The two youths.
But yeah, it's crazy, right? Out of all the legal movies, the one that they actually did a good job with courtroom procedural was My Cousin Vinny, the comedy.
And you get Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. The car expert.
Yep. My brother's a mechanic. My uncle was a mechanic. My grandpa was a
My
mechanic.
father was a mechanic.
I can't answer that. It's a trick question.
It's a trick question. What do you mean it's a trick question? Well, the 1964 guy like didn't
The
have positive traction
1957
control.
Chevrolet
Yeah,
had a
the
283, not a
283.
327
Yeah,
that didn't
yeah.
get invented
The
till like
327 didn't
1962.
Hey,
come out
man,
till,
there's girls like that.
Yeah, and then
It's all
she's
about the posi traction.
yeah, and then going off on about why that car couldn't make that because that car didn't have the positive traction. He's like, she'll suffice, Your Honor.
Didn't have the differential in the rear.
Independent suspension.
Yeah, the one had positive traction and the other had an independent suspension. That was why she was able to bring out the evidence. Then got the two off because they were going to go to conviction if you pay attention. That evidence and her testimony is what got them off in that case.
Oh, and the fact that they arrested the two dudes in the
Yeah.
other car at the last.
Well, they didn't know that
minute.
at that point. They didn't find that out until after the fact because the sheriff came in and told them after the fact.
Yeah, they were arrested down the road.
Yeah. Because the
He
sheriff
got away
checked
with it
into
too. Went for all
Yeah,
the
because
England
if you
kids.
remember when she testified about the car and everything, Vinny went over and asked the sheriff to check it out, and he's like, "I don't work." He's like, "Please, sheriff, just do it." And the sheriff goes and does it, and he runs the other car, and that's when they find out that the other two guys in that car were caught down the road in the next town over. But that was after she had already testified.
Damn, now I have to watch.
See what cable does? Get you arguing about shit in the past online. You see that shit? Rot your brain.
Make believe movie.
That extra $80 a month is worth it, so I can watch my cousin Vinny tonight.
And then you got to watch The Wrestler after that because she's even better looking in that movie.
Oh God! And she drops the linen.
What show is this?
The Wrestler.
The
You've never
Wrestler.
seen The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke and Marissa Tomei?
Nah.
Oh my God, was she
Do
hot in that
yourself a
movie?
favor and watch that.
Oh my God, she is so hot in that movie.
I got no doubts that Pacifist has got cable with his FN and CZ in front of the fireplace with the nutcracker shit going on.
I got cable on every floor, brother.
Hey man, I don't watch much TV at all, but I've been up all day and I was waiting for my football game to come on. There wasn't nothing going on. I actually went on my Amazon Prime and watched a movie. Guess what I picked because it was right on top? I watched Predator this morning, man.
Oh,
Now that's not a bad movie. I mean, it's not. It doesn't take very long to watch it, and that's a good old action movie. And checking out what guns they had, and the alien and shit and stuff. That movie moves along pretty good, man. If you're gonna waste a little time, I guess you could do worse than watching Predator.
Mm-hmm.
Red Thumb has that Predator.
Jeez, you got a big pussy. Jeez, you got a big pussy. Why did you say it twice? I didn't.
Just to give you an idea, Jason, about the wrestler, Marissa Tomei plays a stripper in that movie.
Yeah, and she doesn't wear much clothing in that movie.
There are scenes where she's not wearing any.
Oh, I'll
She's
check
in,
it out. Sure.
She's in
I've
another
always liked
movie
that Melissa Tomei.
with Ethan Hawke. Is it Ethan Hawke? Where she doesn't wear much clothing either. I forget the name of the movie, but it's pretty good.
Anyhow,
Yeah, clothing's overrated.
Yeah, she's one of the women in Hollywood that gets hotter the older she gets.
Upstairs.
Or is it just me? I mean, you look at her in My Cousin Vinny, she was good looking, but she looks better now than she did in My Cousin Vinny, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's definitely not you, Rich. She's pretty hot.
Yeah, she's still hot. What was
She's still at least in the 9 category.
Yeah, what was it? The last movie she was in, Wild Hogs.
No, she was in the one. She's been in this new Spider-Man movie. She plays Aunt May.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. No, she's still a good-looking.
Oh, so she's playing the older people now in these movies?
Yeah, she don't you haven't seen the first of the new Spider-Man movies? You know
No.
you know how Marvel always has the extra scene that's hidden in the credits. She walks in and she catches them, turns it into Spider-Man. And she's like, "Peter, what the fuck?" And it cuts right there.
TV.
No, she's still a good-looking gal.
Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. That's another good one with Marissa Tomei.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie. But anyway, I apologize earlier if my the P word offended any of the gals out there in the chat or anything. I don't have the chat or anything pulled up, so but it was funny still. I don't care.
You're talking about peas with your kids in the room?
Yeah, how dare you?
Like her friend over too? Oh my goodness.
Well, they're 12 and almost going on 13, so they've
worse at school is what he's trying to say.
heard worse.
So did you learn that word from them?
It's a possibility.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility because I am old. So
Those girls aren't in trouble, are they? What kind of bunker is this?
no, it's not that kind of bunker. That's my daughter you're speaking of.
He's not actually in the bunker right now. He's lying. It's
Yeah,
false advertising.
I'm in the lounge right now. I'm out of the bunker. I'm in the lounge.
Why do you got your daughters in a lounge, man? It's after 9 o'clock, and that's illegal, man.
Hey, man, you say this movie is The Wrestler?
Yeah, The Wrestler. with
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Like 2009?
Yeah.
And he
That's
got
a
like
good movie.
blonde hair?
Yeah, it's a good
Great
movie.
movie.
Fucker says available to rent or buy. I can't just watch it.
How about Before the Devil Knows You're Dead? Look at that one.
Hold on, things are like being slow.
Because that one is just as good, if not better, with Marissa Tomei.
Fine.
Yes, that is a good movie.
They never had this.
Totally agree.
He's nuts.
Yeah, but that last scene in the new Spider-Man movies, when she pops her head in Peter's room and catches him changing into Spider-Man, and that my son and I were watching, and we just lost it, man. It was funny as hell. She's like, "Peter, what the fuck?" And it, doesn't finish saying the word, and when it cuts back to the credits,
Okay, I can watch this one if I do a 7-day
Supposed to
free
knock.
trial with
he had his
Shout
door
Factory
open.
TV or something.
She's walking down the hall with the laundry basket. He's got his door open, and she just happens to look over and sees him changing into Spider-Man because he forgot to close his door.
All right. Good save.
And she drops the laundry basket. It's like, "Peter, what the fuck?" Honestly, God, that was funny as hell. The look on her face and shit.
Are you guys happy with today's movies? I mean,
Not at
Some
all.
of them,
Not even close.
some are good, but
I
they're
haven't
far
been
and few
thrilled.
between.
Haven't
Yeah,
They're
it
seen
used to
it
be
in years.
in the movies a long time ago. But life happened, and I'm not the type person that's going to be like, oh, I got to be home at 6 to watch this or what. That you live life, you don't watch it. But at the same time, it seems like a lot of these movies, they're just really shitty, in my opinion. Like, they're not good. It's just all either like the action movies, it's all the CGI or this or that or whatever. You know what I mean? They're just, but the plots, the stories, everything's a remake. It's like
Yeah.
getting that way with music too, in a sense, where
Yeah.
without all the filters and the airbrushing and all this shit, like they're not special. The lyrics don't even make sense. Like half of them, they sound like people speaking with Tourette's. So that I know that's not Tourette's, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like there's nothing there except maybe a good beat or something. But yet everybody's liking it. It's like all the flash is selling nowadays, not the quality of anything.
There's no substance, I think, is what you're looking for.
Exactly. You put it perfect right there, Rich. Substance on there, because you look back at the 80s, like anywhere from like the mid 80s to the early 90s, like with the Die Hard or Stallone movies or Schwarzenegger or, Stallone. I mean, some of those were, especially the Die Hard ones, where they really put a lot of monologue in with the character when he's crawling through the vents. That was totally Bruce Willis ad-libbing through that in the first Die Hard. When he's in the vents, come out to New York, we'll have a few drinks, have a couple laughs.
Oh, yeah. There's so many classic movie lines are ad-libbed. You go all the way back to Gone with the Wind, the frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Completely ad-libbed. That's not what the script said. They actually got in trouble with the censors for him saying that line, but they kept it in the movie anyway because it fit so much better than what the line in the script was.
Hello, Misty.
Yep. Hey, Stacy. Sorry, I didn't realize you were in the back.
Hello.
It didn't make the little noise that it's supposed to make whenever somebody jumps in, and I was looking at a different window.
Was Rich shunning you, Stacy?
No, I got it set. If you go into the settings on StreamYard, you can set whenever somebody jumps in for to
Got
play
no
a little
respect for
chime.
women.
It didn't play the chime. I had no idea she was sitting back there. I don't know how long she was sitting back
Sure.
You're a sexist. You
Just
are.
not
You
happy
couldn't
to see
tell
her.
it just smelled better in here when she showed up. The
I'll
hell's
be the
wrong?
there. I don't have scratch and sniff monitor, Rob, so no, I didn't.
Wow.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi, darling. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too bad.
Yeah, Stacy jumped in because we were talking about Marissa Tomei, and she wanted to get in on the conversation.
Who?
The lady from My Cousin Vinny.
It's just some skank that these boys are.
Oh,
Head
you
over
got room to
heels
talk,
over.
Some skank
Jason.
that
You want to
Jason
know
is,
what movie she's naked in, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, just some skank that Jason is creeping on right now.
No.
Ah,
Jason
we
is
start
looking
talking
at
about
this
her
for
and
science
Jason's hard.
purposes,
Has she
if
ever been
anything.
naked in a movie before?
Jason thinks of nobody else but me.
Seriously, by my defense, by my own actions, I refuse to pay to see the girl. You just seen that in evidence. So, I got no
Okay,
She ain't
okay,
worth
Mr. Got a
$1.99.
hard on for the bunny.
You just go on the internet. You don't need to rent that movie.
It's priorities.
With that dime, I bought some love, but now I've changed my mind.
Uh-huh.
But if it was Mystic's video for $1.99, he'd be all over it.
I Patreon that.
Nah, Snob would just get him a bootleg copy.
Oh shit!
Probably.
But there's more than one.
What is that? The OnlyFans page?
Uh-huh.
I hear she's going to have one coming out with an M&P 10 millimeter soon.
Who's to say I don't already have one?
I've been dreaming about that gun for days now.
Didn't you
But
see the one at the Altor?
Did Snob get it, or is it still on order?
I'm on a pre-order for it. I think Snob said he was on a pre-order for it as well.
No, he said that his shop put in an order for two of them. The one that's a compact and the one that's a full size.
Yeah, I think he's a pre-order. He hasn't. I don't think he's gotten it yet.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he's gotten it yet or not. That's what I was asking.
I'm on
What price did you put your order in at, or does it not tell you?
So I put mine in for $619.
Yeah, it's about right.
Seen MSRP was like $649 or something like that.
Yeah.
There
But
was
they're
a couple
also
out there that had them listed for in the $5s, but you couldn't pre-order them.
Yeah, and they're the ones that they're automatically slide cut for an optic and stuff. So there isn't a not cut version. So they're going to be $600 some dollars.
Yeah, and they come with suppressor height sights as well.
What gun
Yeah.
is it?
The Smith and Wesson 10 millimeter, the M&P 10 millimeter.
So it comes with a 4-inch barrel or a 4.6, Jason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're automatically the core version. They got the core sights on them, like what Pacifist
I'll
was saying.
send Rich the info.
I already had the info.
It's got a new trigger. It's not as good as from what I saw on TFB TV. It's not, the trigger's not as good as the Shield Plus, which is phenomenal. I've tried the Shield Plus.
Which is crazy because the Smith and Wesson video for it says that it has the Smith, unless they changed it, the Smith and Wesson video actually said that it's the same trigger as the Shield Plus.
Huh. So TFB contradicts that statement.
Yeah. So what makes you wonder which one's right?
No two guns are the same.
It's
Maybe get
it's
one
definitely a
better.
different looking trigger, a way different looking trigger in that 10 millimeter than the Shield Plus.
Is that one more? Is it even flatter, or has it got more curve to it, or what's the deal between the Plus and the 10 mil?
There's this like the dingus part of it.
Yeah, the dingus does look like it's different.
Yeah, it's almost like a waffle type pattern. It's there's like a lot going on with the 10
But
millimeter.
that would just be the trigger shoe that would be different. They said the trigger's the actual internal parts.
Is
Yeah.
it blue?
And Smith and Wesson saying that's identical to what's in the Shield Plus.
So they're saying that the trigger components inside the gun are the same.
Right.
Okay, and that's what I thought when I was looking at it the other day, and I thought the components on the inside were the same. It was just the trigger on the outside was a little bit different.
Yeah, based on that, something about the feedback on the Shield Plus, they changed the trigger shoe itself a little bit.
Okay, because with my Plus versus everything else that I've got, which I've got 5 different handguns, that is the most crisp, just sharp break, just the smoothest one that I've got.
Yeah, that one is the best one I've ever tried in a striker fired polymer frame handgun. The
Yeah,
Shield
and like
Plus.
Pat, I think it was Pat was saying, I mean, you can have 2 of the exact same gun with the exact same trigger, and one will feel different than the other because, one gun's going to be, not all guns are going to be exactly alike, even though they're the exact same model and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So they could have just got one where the trigger wasn't quite as polished as, say, one that you get.
I'm sure it's a really, really nice trigger.
Yeah, it is, and what I love about that Plus 9 that I've got is that it just the break on it and everything is just crisp, sharp, and the take up on it is minimal, and it's just got a nice trigger on it.
The limited amount of information I have about the 10 millimeter is that it's about a pound heavier than the Shield Plus trigger, which will make you possibly pull a shot here and there.
Gotcha. Well, I don't have anything to complain about the Plus 9.
Yeah, just so it's not like the Taurus 1911s where you may get one that has a 4-pound trigger, and then the next one you pick up has a 10-pound trigger.
Yeah.
The triggers on those things are all over the damn place.
When I lived in Massachusetts, when I bought my first M&P, it was like a 12-pound trigger because that's the state law down there is that it has to be 10 pounds or above.
Like how New York City, the police, their Glocks have to have a 13-pound trigger.
Jeez, that's ridiculous.
Isn't
I
it?
dropped an Apex into mine before I even fired it.
They wonder why their cops in New York City can't hit shit. Well, they got a 13-pound trigger on a striker-fired handgun. That could be why. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, my buddy was up a couple weekends ago. My buddy and his wife came up. He's got a couple pre-banned ARs, the Colt Vietnam era 20-inch, and then he's got a 16-inch. I think it was like from the 80s. Really nice Colt rifles. And then he had the M&Ps. He's got a couple M&Ps, the compact and the full-size 5-inch. But they have the Massachusetts triggers in them, and they were absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I got the M&P 2.0 compact right here in 40, and man, that thing's got a nice trigger on it. I actually like the trigger. I actually don't mind the hinge trigger. It doesn't bother me like it does some people.
The first couple trigger pulls on those M&Ps, I'm like, yeah, it's all right. And then when I tried to rapid fire it, I'm like, that's horrible. I was completely missing my plate at 7 yards.
If you want to rapid fire a gun, you should check out my P10C. Honest to God, you could freaking hip fire that son of a bitch. That thing's trigger is crazy light.
It's nothing better than a CZ.
I got the special edition version of the one that was the with the urban gray version before they decided to make that one of the standard options for the P10C, and the others went back when it was still a special edition and it had the better trigger and stuff in it. Good Lord, man. You can double tap that thing without any effort whatsoever. It is crazy how light and smooth that trigger is on that gun. And
even my double action P01, I dropped a lighter spring kit into it. And it, oh my God, it's so nice. Even in double action, it's such a smooth pull.
I was trying to do a limp wrist drill with it, and honest to God, it was like boom, 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 boom when I'm limp wristing it. It was just the trigger so light on it. The slide recoiling forward was making me shoot the gun again. You can literally hip fire the damn thing. And the best part was I still put in a good group with it doing that.
Sent you a couple emails, and then I got lost trying to get back.
Send who emails me?
You.
Which email address do you remember?
The one you sent the link on.
Okay. I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, it's just the M&P, the specs and price and all the information I found on it that I just got from the other show. Just putting it out there for anybody who was interested or whatever. So.
Okay, well, just curious. I'm throwing this out there since the Snob and the Pacifist are obviously getting the 10 mils. What's the range on the barrels and stuff as far as lengthwise?
4 inch and 4 1/4 or 4.5. I forget which. But there's definitely it's the compact and the full size.
Okay, all right. Because I looked at the full size, and that's kind of the one that I was looking at if I was going to get another one.
And you get them with or without the manual safety as well.
Yeah, if I walked in the house without a manual safety, my wife would shoot me.
Still waiting on that email, Rob. Haven't got it yet. Unless I threw it in my spam folder for some reason. No, spam folder's empty.
Maybe. I can go back and look, but I might get lost again.
Not surprising.
Yeah, it's not arrived yet.
What was Pat saying? I left the room for a minute.
And you said you sent that as a response to the email I sent with the link in it?
Not as a response, but to that same email.
Okay.
Yeah, no, gun-toting pacifist. I was just saying the difference on barrel lengths, what they actually had for gun barrel lengths, and I think Rich pretty much covered it. Between the compact and the full-sized, which the one that I looked at was the full-sized. So,
it's a 4-inch barrel for the compact and the 4.6 for the full-size.
4.6, okay.
Which is with a 10 millimeter, that's negligible with the 4.6.
Yeah, it's not going to make a darn bit of difference.
No, so you might as well go with the 4-inch.
Yeah, because there have been people that already tested 4-inch versus 4.5 inch with the 10 millimeter, and it doesn't mean a damn thing. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference.
Okay. Well, then the next question I was going to bring up, but Rob was obviously emailing you all the specs and stuff on that weight on the compact versus the full size, because I'm kind of torn on that one, because I would like a different carry option just because I've already got, several full size, full duty.
Yeah,
Well, you get 15 rounds. That's one thing you
Yeah.
have to consider.
yeah. You guys seeing my screen?
So
There we go. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
I
So you
think
got the compact and you got the full size.
I think the 4-inch with the 15 rounds compared to the Glock 20 is probably just a few ounces heavier, but you get those extra 5 rounds.
Yeah.
What does a Glock 20 hold?
14, I think.
Is it 14? So you get an extra 1 round, I guess. So it comes in just a little bit heavier than the Glock 20, I believe.
Which, if it is 14 versus 15, your little bit of weight, that's the difference between one bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to consider the optic as well.
Well, it doesn't come with the optic; it's just optic cut.
I think what TFB did was weigh it with the optic, and then they put the optic on the scale with the Glock 20 to kind of give it like a comparison between the two.
Right. This is just an article that they put up because I still haven't gotten the email from Rob yet. So.
No, they're good guns. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards getting one of those. So I don't know whether the compact or the full size, but I'm looking for a different compact carry option. So
they built those on the frame for the M&P 45.
If you're gonna conceal carry something like that, I would go with the 4-inch, and I would get a red dot that had the rear sight on the back of the optic itself, and then get a regular size sight for the front so you don't snag on anything.
Right. Completely. Okay. Another thing, and when I went onto their website and looked at the specs, I just kind of breezed through everything. Are those going to be optics ready, or are you going to?
They're optics ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
they come with the plate kit, those little thin plastic plates.
I don't know if you can see on the picture, but you got the.
I can see.
You can see it's cut there, and then if you look over here on the title of it.
That's one of the things that pissed me off, and I like my gun. I love the +9. It's been a good gun, easy to carry and everything. But the one thing I hated about it, if that is optics ready and that's not an option, they just got the plastic plate and everything over the top of that. When they came out with +9, you had to, what was it, like almost $200 extra, or $150 to $200 extra for the optics ready version.
Yeah, this one comes with the whole kit.
These are all optics ready, and they come with like 6 different mounting plates.
Yes.
Okay. See, that's what kind of pissed me off about the +9, because there was, that big of a difference money-wise, and I just got the plain one with, I wish it would have had the high vis, and that's what I liked about the difference between my Smith and my wife's Ruger, is hers came optic ready, and it already had the high vis sights on it. But at the same time, I didn't like the trigger pull on hers, and the Smith just felt a little bit better in my hands. But, that's the difference between my wife's hands versus mine, where hers was a little bit thinner on the pistol grip and everything. And, with me having a bigger hand, I like the little bit beefier grip on the +9. So that's the whole reason I got it. So, but it just kind of pissed me off that it was $150, $200 more for the optics ready, and it didn't even come with the optic. So this one, they finally stepped up and just did it, And those are your two options. You can it's optics ready, take the plate off and put a micro on it, or whatever you want to do with it. So,
Right. But real quick, I want to say hello to Bernie Sanchez, who's out there.
Okay. Hey, Rich, I'm gonna have to hop off here for tonight. But,
All right,
it was
man.
good seeing y'all, hanging out. Have a
Yep.
good show.
Thanks
Yep.
for
Later,
jumping
Jason.
on, Jason.
I come on here and you leave. How rude.
I'll talk to you
How
later.
rude! You sound like the girl from Full House, Stacy.
Later,
I'll
brother.
text you here in a little bit.
All right, you guys take care. Have a good one, man. See you tomorrow.
See ya.
have a good night.
You were asking about the weight, Pat. It says here 28 and a half ounces.
Okay. No, that's not bad. That's not bad.
That's fully loaded, unloaded.
It doesn't say. I'm going to guess it's unloaded.
Yeah.
It'd have to be 28 ounces.
And it's got a
So
length of
how much is
7.2
Glock's 10 millimeter?
How
Is
much
this
is
like
Glock?
the same price?
Yeah, they're about the same ballpark.
Okay.
That is a good looking gun.
I know
If
it's
you
great
notice-
that it comes with the suppressor height sights, and
You
that's
know what else is good about it? You don't got just the little itty bitty serrations down here. They went and serrated all the way up
Yep.
yes.
on the front serrations.
Fish scales.
Yeah.
Fight me, man.
I mean, I love the serrations that Smith & Wesson does, but those little itty bitty things right there, what was the point? They should have done this on all the 2.0s.
Yeah, serrations work pretty good. In the rain, different weather, whatever, I've always been able to get a grip, if that makes any sense.
Like I said, I got one sitting right here. And, those little itty bitty serrations, they're not the easiest thing to get a hold of if you want to use the front serrations. But those back ones, it's kind of hard not to be able to work those. Because they just grip your hand.
But that's safety, though. That's burning a hole in my eyeballs right now.
Well, Pat's wife demands that he gets a safety on his gun.
Ugh. That
Yep.
sends a shiver up my spine seeing that. You have the
But-
dingus on the trigger. That's all you need.
Exactly. And when I leave the house, the safety goes off, a round goes in, and it goes back in to my carry spot.
You got to get yourself a good holster where when you slide it into that holster, it clicks the safety off. You can,
No.
if you go to a really good Kydex holster maker, they'll make you a holster like that that'll click your safety off when you slide it in.
Safety's not a big deal. You just always sweep it every time you pull it out.
Nah,
It's just-
that's redundant. You got
Well-
the dingus. That's all you need.
No,
You know what?
it's not. I don't
I-
see it as a problem. And then
I
if
don't
you're
really, to be
gonna
honest.
show that gun to other people, handle it back and forth with the wife, kids, things like that, safeties can be good for just that purpose. So
No matter how much you practice, you will fuck up with the safety like that.
I don't know.
No,
I don't have
When-
issues with it.
And
So-
when
I'm
you need
flipping
it the
off the
most, you'll
safety on
fuck
a
up
gun
the
I
most.
don't have a safety on. I was trained on 1911s, man. As soon as I'm pulling that gun, I'm flipping a safety that the gun doesn't have because of this muscle memory. I'm just so used to doing that with 1911s because that was the first semi-autos I was taught to shoot on. It's just second nature for me to flip that safety, whether it's got the safety or not.
Well, it's a small compromise that I had to make, but at the same time, the way I carry, I do one of those soft belly band ones for the appendix carry. I can't remember the name of the actual soft holster that I've got for appendix, but it's been good, and I've never had it mess with the safety on there.
You know what? That's the one case that I would absolutely advocate for a safety is if you're going to carry appendix.
Yeah.
I don't see the problem, man.
And-
Like, I'm a safety guy, but I don't use the safety like that. I carry appendix without it with a striker fired pistol.
Yep.
I would never carry striker
yeah.
fire appendix without
I-
a safety. Even with a safety, probably not. But
I trust my equipment and stuff. You know what
Well,
I mean? In my opinion, don't pull the trigger. It's not a problem.
I
Yeah,
value my equipment. That's why I don't carry appendix.
one of the reasons I got the P365 with the safety is because it doesn't have the trigger safety.
And here's one of the reasons that I carry appendix with the soft with the belly band is because I'm so skinny that I print like a son of a bitch.
Uh,
About the only place that I can carry
Yeah.
that can hide it.
You're not as bad as Kingpin, man. Kingpin can hide behind the Smith & Wesson Shield first gen.
No, it had.
No, don't say no. Ask Rob. Rob has met Kingpin.
I'm
Kingpin
6
can hide behind the Smith & Wesson Shield. I kid you not.
I'm 6 foot, 145 pounds.
Kingpin is that, and he's 6'2".
Okay, well, I'll have to go and meet my brother Beanpole then.
But anyway, we got a question out there. We got a question. MKGO asks, so MMPs are changing up all their triggers going forward? He saw that the Plus had a new one. It's looking that way. It looks like they're going with everybody else and doing the dongle style trigger.
I think this is their fifth different trigger, which is like, come on, find your wheelhouse and go with it. You would have think that they found it with the Shield Plus, but no, they go with a different one, which is weird.
Well, it's a hybrid of the Shield Plus. It's the Shield Plus trigger with a new shoe.
With a heavier trigger pull, too.
Again, that could just be one model to the next. I mean, one example to the next. I've seen that before, where one gun will have a 5.5 pound trigger, the same gun, but a different one. You know what I mean? The same gun.
Yeah.
One will have 5.5, one will have 6.5. It just depends on how well the polished and how deburred and everything the parts are inside it. And after a while, that second trigger will lighten up, and then it'll end up with a 5.5, 6 pound trigger too. It's just that's why some triggers have a break-in period.
Yeah, and that's what I found out when I finally got done with the 500 round through the plus 9. It did go down by 3/4 pound.
Really? After 500?
Yeah, after 500, and it's been steady. After about 250, 300 rounds on it, once that trigger got good and broke in, it went down 3/4 pound, and it went from. My buddy had the gauge. I pulled it 5-6 times when I first got it, and it was at 5.2, 5.3 on the poundage, and then went down another 3/4 after about 200 to 300, and it stayed there.
Smith & Wesson is great too. They show up to local gun shops all the time, and all you have to do when they set up like a meet and greet at a gun shop is show up with your gun, and they'll polish it right there for you within 15 minutes and have you.
When we went to the
Great Glock doesn't do that.
Yeah, when we went to the Great American Outdoors show, we went to the Smith & Wesson booth. I stood there and had a 45-minute conversation with the guy from Smith & Wesson.
Nice.
But Glock doesn't do that.
Glock wasn't there, so I couldn't tell you.
Smith & Wesson shows up to my local gun shops all the time.
Nice.
Another one I had, another company I had a good conversation with one of the representatives there was Mossberg.
Come on.
I like their shotguns. I don't care. I like Mossberg shotguns.
We got another question. Remember, Bernie just got here, so he wasn't here when we were talking about it. He asks if the triggers on the new MMPs are good. He wants to know how the triggers are on the new MMPs. They're good.
They're good.
The Shield Plus has a really good trigger. Can't really comment on the 10 millimeter because I haven't seen one in the wild, because there aren't any in the wild yet. They're just up for pre-order right now. But they have, according to Smith & Wesson, it's the same trigger but with a different trigger shoe on it. So they're probably going to be pretty darn good trigger as well. So there's your answer on that one, Bernie. No, you've got one. Did you say you had one, Pacifist? The M&P Plus, the Shield Plus? I know Pat does.
No, I've tried the Shield Plus. I don't own one though.
Okay. Yeah, I've dry fired them at the local general store. Where they
Yes,
do
same here.
they have a nice trigger, because we have a pawn shop and we have a general store. We don't have a standalone gun shop. But so it's either I go to the pawn shop and look at the gun, but they both deal on new guns, right? The pawn shop also does used guns, but that mostly they get new guns as far as the handguns are concerned. Mostly what you're going to see used there is their the rifles and shotguns. So they'll get a lot of like used rifles and shotguns. You see very few used pistols. Most of the stuff they have is brand new stuff.
Yeah, the Shield Plus. When I tried that trigger, I'm like, I want this gun, but I already have the 43X, which I done a ton of updates to.
I'd have the Canic SC Compact right now, but when they had it at the pawn shop, they wanted $450 or $470 for a used one. I was like, fuck that.
Really? For a Canic?
Yeah. This was back when the chaos was still in full swing.
Shit.
Right now, you can get one on Sportsman's Guide for $360 if you're a member over there. Which I'm still trying to talk my wife into letting me use my exchange credit card to order one. Maybe when we move, she'll finally cave on that. Because I never did get my birthday present gun that I was supposed to get, because neither gun shop's been able to find one.
She should get you insurance for a birthday gift.
Well, again, that would have to wait till we move. Can't get that with my exchange gift. My exchange credit card there, Rob. I wish you could. It does make sense for them to sell, but they don't, because they do sell guns on the exchange. I don't know if you know that or not. The Army and Air Force exchange, they sell firearms themselves, and they have Sportsman's Guide takes the exchange credit card. Which means no. Last time I ordered something from the Sportsman's Guide through the exchange, I didn't have to pay sales tax on it either. But there is no sales tax on firearms, West Virginia. And I contacted Sportsman's Guide. They said if you're in West Virginia and you buy a firearm from them, you just email them that you live in West Virginia and they will refund the sales tax.
Yeah, same thing in New Hampshire.
Yeah, we don't pay tax on firearms or ammunition as far as the state sales tax is concerned. You have the same up there?
Yep,
Or
same thing.
on ammunition too?
Yep.
Okay, well, since there's a void here, I'll ask Rob a quick question here. How many Smith & Wessons do you actually own, Rob?
Now, are we talking just M&Ps or any Smith & Wesson?
Any Smiths.
I got 4.
Any complaint on any of them?
No. I got 3 M&Ps and 1 revolver.
I forget what you got for a revolver.
627.
Ooh, good one.
You just ask about any complaints with an M&P?
He's asking how many you got.
How many
you
Smith & Wessons in general, not just M&P. It could be any. I guess Rob doesn't want to tell you.
Yeah, apparently not.
Oh, sorry. No, I had walked away. I had to go wash my hands, and that's why I wasn't sure what I walked back into, and I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah,
without knowing what I was talking about. So
yeah, he asked you, but you didn't answer, so I answered.
All right, but what was the question?
How many M&Ps do you? How many Smith & Wessons do you have?
3, I believe.
There you go. Okay. Any problems with any of those?
my M&P 1522 when it first came out. The what was it? Ejector, I believe. The shells once in a while won't catch on the side, basically. So I looked at it and just basically gave it a little bit of a push with my thumb, because I noticed when the bolt was in there, it had a little play, a little room. So I kind of just compressed it with my thumb a little bit. And ever since then, it's ran flawless. But so other than that, that's the only honest to God complaint I've had. All my, my M&Ps basically run. I haven't had any issues, no problems, like wet, rusted, whatever, they work. They always tend to work. I'd never had it like not function or do anything funky like that. I had a problem with ammunition where one round was the hole wasn't drilled from the primer pocket to the where the gunpowder goes in the casing. So when it went off in the gun, it smoked, didn't cycle, and almost wanted to seize up in the firearm. And I literally had to beat the shit out of it to get it to separate and all that type of stuff to get it out. Cleaned everything up, worked fine, no problem. So, but that was an ammunition problem, not a gun problem. You know what I mean? So, but honestly, that's kind of what bugs me about a lot of people, where they seems like they bring everything in the kitchen sink to the range. Like, it's good to bring some stuff, but you shouldn't have to bring all that shit for your guns to run. Like, I use CLP, clean my guns after I use them, and I bet my life that it'd work the next time. I don't have problems.
There's the 627, Pat.
That is a beautiful thing.
8 rounds of 357 Magnum.
Yep. Love the wood grips on that. Those are way better than the I've got that 681 that I've showed, and that had those narrow wood panel grips on it. Mm-hmm. Then I finally I got rid of those and put the Hogue.
Well, grip. This came with the Hogue, and I swapped the Hogue out for the wood.
Now, see, those grips versus the Model 681 stock ones, that is a lot better grip than what the 681 had. Because it just had wood panel sides on it that were checkered. Yours has got the full bottom and everything. That is a thing of beauty right there. But I'm kind of old school. I love revolvers, but at the same time, they've got their time and their place. So, yeah, if you're going to go out to the range or something like that and go have fun, I have a blast with revolvers.
If I had a holster, I would carry this. Honest to God, I would. I love this thing. The trigger on it is beautiful in double action or single action.
They're smooth.
Yeah, the trigger on this is so smooth, and it's light. It's got an 8-pound double action trigger on it.
Yep. That's what my 681 has got on. I wish I could remember right off the top of my head the holster that I've got for mine. It just goes right to any belt and clips up, and it's nice and tight.
Yeah, DeSantis has a nice leather one that matches my belt exactly. That's a beautiful holster. The one they got, one of their like speed scabbards for it. They're one of the few that makes a holster for this gun, because being an end frame, there aren't very many companies out there that are making the 627. They'll have it for like the 27. They'll have it for the 29, the 629. Very few make one for the 627 because 627's cylinder is a little bit different because of the way it's fluted.
Yep. Yeah, no, the one that I've got a couple of different revolvers that I can put in this leather holster that I've got with the strap with the snap that goes right over the top of the hammer on, and it carries them beautifully, which I got lucky. All of them had about the exact same barrel length. on there. I don't know how I lucked out and bought all those ones like that, but damn it, I wish I could remember the name of the brand of that holster. It is really nice, and it stays tucked up right beside you. Just snaps right onto your belt, and it's not. I mean, shit, that's probably been 15 years ago when I bought that holster, and that's all I carried the 357 in.
Yeah, that DeSantis one. They had DeSantis was at the Great American Outdoor Show, and they actually had the 627 blue gun in the holster and stuff. And that he's like, here, put it on. I was like, okay. And that thing, it's a pancake style, so it tucks right up against you.
Yep, those are nice.
I'm just not comfortable with the capacity of revolvers.
That thing has the same capacity as a Smith & Wesson shield.
Yeah, but it's a reload process and everything.
Speed loader, I can reload that with speed loaders or a moon clip just as fast as I do my shield.
I don't know about that.
No, I'm serious.
Easier to store. I don't know.
And honestly, when I first started carrying, because Nebraska is an open carry state, I started carrying that 357 with the leather holster and everything, and I've got speed loaders for it. Now, granted, I'm not as fast with that versus a reload with a magazine with my Shield Plus. Once I finally did some really good practice with it on speed loading and everything, yeah, a guy can get pretty quick with that.
It's faster with the moon clips that came with it because the moon clips.
I think you can get fast
The bullets
enough.
don't rattle around like they can in a speed loader.
Why not have every advantage you can?
Yeah, exactly, and that's why, and that's why I carry the Shield Plus. Is just because it's magazine, and everything's got their place. Don't get me wrong. A revolver, if that's all you've got for self-defense, don't get me wrong. I would rather carry a freaking revolver with some moon clips or speed loaders versus a sharp stick.
And you gotta figure if I'm carrying a gun, it's not just because of two-legged. I live in bear country. I'm not going to trust a 9mm against the 500-pound black bear.
I live in cougar country.
Oh, we got them too.
Yep.
Well, we got cougar here. Even though they tell us we don't, we do. I've seen them. And
you're doing you too?
Yeah, I've seen more black bear. I've seen more 400 or 500-pound black bear than I have cougar.
Well, out here, cougar have been extinct this way for about
that's what they tell us.
5 years, and then they released them when I was 13, 14 years old in 8 pairs up and down the river from the dam that's about 45 minutes away to the west to the diversion dam that's about 25 miles to the east of us. 8 pairs. And I have seen a total, ever since then, 20 to 25 times on cougars when I've been either harvesting or mowing down hay or moving just out and about. Yeah. And it's just, no, I'm not going anywhere without a fucking gun now. Because we live right along the river, and it's like, no, I'm not going down there.
You've seen the big 90-gallon yellow Rubbermaid garbage cans, right?
Yep.
When we lived at the old house, my wife's grandmother's house, after her grandmother passed away and we moved into the house, we had those kinds of garbage cans. 2 of them sitting right next to each other, and there was a cat stretched out across the top of them. Now, you tell me what kind of cat it was, because it damn sure wasn't a bobcat, and it damn sure wasn't a house cat. They don't get that big.
Yep. Because the toms can get up to 120 pounds, and the females can go to 80 to 90.
Yeah, I mean, this thing was stretched out, and its hind legs and front legs were both hanging over the edge of the can.
Yeah, that's not a key.
Bobcats, we don't get that big, and they damn sure ain't no house cat that's that big.
No, I've shot plenty of bobcat out here during the first season, and the biggest bobcat I ever shot was a tom, and it might have weighed 45 pounds at the most. Yeah, big kitty. No,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
messing.
Bobcats also don't have a real long tail like this one did.
Yeah, and they're gray, and they're black. No,
Yeah, they're not tawny
not
and some black.
red.
This was definitely a cougar that was on my garbage cans.
So you shot him because he's black?
Who shot who?
What?
What? Hey, are you trying to in-house Pat? Is that what's going on here?
Rob, come on, man.
Oh man!
What'd that cat do to you?
Come on, you're trying to create havoc.
Does it count if
now
Snob
look here,
considers me
you
a
can't
cougar?
be doing that. Don't get brazen with me.
What do you say, Mystic?
I said, does it count if Snob considers me a cougar?
Well, technically,
Well, I wouldn't shoot you.
you are older than him.
Put you on his mantle, though.
Technically,
Sorry.
I gotta tell you, Mystic. Technically, Snob's not wrong.
Rob, I gotta give it to you. That was a pretty good one.
What did he say?
I don't know. I didn't catch what Rob said either.
I'll let Rob say it.
I plead the fifth.
oh, come on.
No, Binger won't let you do that. According to Binger, you don't get a Fifth Amendment right.
I know nothing.
I know nothing. You gotta do it right. I know nothing, Colonel Hogan.
Judge, my client. I have a client for an idiot. Or idiot for a client.
Your Honor, I am an idiot for a lawyer.
Yeah.
All right, this sucks.
What does?
I googled, how old does a woman have to be be considered a cougar? And it says cougars are defined as older women, typically 35 to 55, whatever, and who have relationships with men who are 8 or more years younger.
Again, Snob is technically correct.
He is 8 years younger than me.
See? Told you.
Damn
Technically, he is right.
Ooh.
He got you on
Now
the
that
technicality.
Now that I'm divorced for the second time, I really appreciate cougars.
Cougars are good.
Yep, they're very
but
loving.
in pacifist case, $20 is $20.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Well, in my case, I did it in reverse. My wife's 8 years younger than I am.
Hey, look, that's a cougar.
I'm 40 and she's 33.
My wife's a year younger. That's it. Just a year.
Well, technically, it's not full 8 years because it's only like maybe about 7 and a few months.
Well, both
Yeah,
my
that's-
ex-wives are younger than
Margin
me.
of error.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, Mystic. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nobody said anything was wrong with it. I mean, you're not my mother dating somebody
So-
16 years younger
Tell
than
us the truth. You got tired of babysitting him, so you were just like, "Well, the hell with it. I might as well get a bonus in here too, right?"
Pretty much.
Honest to God, I was 18. My mother was dating somebody 23 and expecting me to treat that guy like he was my dad. I was like, fuck this shit.
And Snob was begging for the abuse. I bet.
Yeah. So,
Okay, yeah. Did you walk up and throat punch him at some point in time?
Well, he tried. My brother and I, we were going to go hang out at the mall and go to the arcade and shit, right? He's like, no, we need you to stay here to babysit your brother. And we're like, yeah, right. We had this plan for a week. We go walk out the door. He's like, you're grounded. Me and my brother both looked at him and laughed and left.
Good call.
So, but here in a few weeks, I'm going to start a new job.
That's what I heard. What are you doing now?
Um, it's basically technically it's a call center. It's new here, but it's a radiology company out of, I think they're have departments in like California, Arizona, and I think New York, New Jersey. They don't have any radiology imaging centers here, but it's a call center that I basically are scheduling patients for appointments and confirming appointments, stuff like that.
Wow, great.
But
Awesome.
yeah, it's new here. They haven't even got the call center up and running. Everybody who gets hired starts training on December 6th. And it's
So you
going to
got
be
to go to New York for orientation, right?
no. But a bunch of the ones that are out here that came out, there's like 8 or 9 of them that transferred from California to here to run the call center. And I'm working on California hours pretty much. So my hours are going to be anywhere between 10 a.m. to 7, 8 o'clock at night because I'm working off California hours.
Well, it's good you start at the like at the base when the company's starting, so you have plenty of opportunity to move up.
Yeah, there's plenty. I wish they had some imaging centers here because there's a lot of opportunities to like move up to be to go actually into radiology. To do
That's very like
ultrasound
on
and
the
stuff.
East Coast here. That's very lucrative. They make a ton of money over here doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they will pay for it too, and they will help like education reimbursements and stuff. You can move up that way, but there's no imaging centers around here.
No, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm excited. I went to 2 interviews this week. So I went to that one, and I went to one that's here in Tulsa, Wausau area, and it's a podiatrist office, basically ankle and feet.
Yeah.
And it would be more, it would be more back office. It would be like taking the patients back there, doing vitals, setting up surgical trays, taking sutures out, taking cast off, stuff like that. More like I want. So I haven't heard back from them yet. If I hear back from them and get that job, then I'm going to probably take that job.
Real quick, I need to answer Moo's question here. He asked, "Did we trade Pokemon cards?" No. One, this was before Pokemon, and two, fuck Pokemon.
Exactly.
My daughter used to collect them for a while.
My son's into that shit. I'm like, yeah, no.
She's into Pokemon. Well, she was into Pokemon and then all this anime stuff.
Okay, well, since you brought all that stuff up, Mystic, since you were riding in ambulances and stuff, when you brought up removing the sutures and all that stuff on the medical side of the house, is there any room on that side to move up?
I don't know. I don't know what the front office like scheduling and doing the insurance and stuff. I don't know what that pays, but I mean, I'm sure there's some, but maybe not as much as with the other one.
Okay, well, it just with your background and everything, you just and correct me if I'm wrong, which I usually am. You seem like the kind of gal that likes to be in the thick of things and actually hands-on doing the stuff. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, it just seems like
that's true.
You're a hands-on gal.
Yeah, if I get offered that other job and stuff, because it's more like medical assisting, which I don't have a certification in, but I guess with it being a podiatrist, you don't have to have one compared to a regular doctor's office. But yeah, it's a lot more patient care, which I enjoy the face-to-face patient care and doing more of the medical aspect of it. And so, and they were both paid around the same and stuff, but
yeah. Well, it seems like since you were, EMT, everything what you used to do and everything, it seems like you'd be pretty well suited for that. And honestly, a lot of the stuff in the United States, we need more people like that.
Yeah, have you looked into dialysis? My wife, when she did the dialysis tech, it was on the job training.
No, I've been just going on this one website, Indeed, and I haven't really looked at dialysis centers, but which I mean, I could go back to school and do medical assisting or even get some type of, LPN or something like that. But I'm trying not to go too much in the medical field because I already have a messed up back. So I'm trying to do something that's not gonna aggravate it more.
Right? Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to bring up. How is your?
No, but
Has anybody?
dialysis is mostly putting IVs into people.
Yeah.
That's mostly what she does.
Well, they gonna, you have to, are they, basically giving you that force or no choice about the shot as far as making phone calls, things like that, just out of curiosity, or?
They haven't said anything about it on either one.
Is that something you would do for your job or
Um,
potential job? I'm just out of curiosity. You don't even have to say if you don't want to. This
Yeah,
is a
he's
problem.
asking because my wife had to get the jab
Well,
because
it's not just that either, but I've also known somebody that went to school basically to do the same thing, like EMT, and then when all this started, they just completely stopped. Like they finished, but they just stopped and went to do something else because they didn't feel it was right to be forced. So,
was
not
it your
saying that
governor?
worked out great for them or anything, or it didn't,
No,
but
was it your
yeah.
governor that was forcing the EMTs because they're not under the
I'm not sure who it was at the time, but I know she was
De
quite pissed off
Blasio.
about it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm
Well,
just,
if they're in New
that's
York
why I'm
City, De
asking. Like,
Blasio.
some people will, some people won't. Obviously, in the medical field now, that's something you got to consider. So, if it is a conflict, then
Yeah, Moose said
phone
he got the
stuff or
jab.
something like that might be ideal versus jumping into it. So,
Yeah, it was the new governor in New York that was forcing that.
Yeah, Moose said
yeah,
he
I
had to get the
actually, I
jab too.
actually did go get it a couple months ago because I did go on an interview for the VA center,
Yeah,
and so
they're the VA. They're going to force you. The
so
VA
whenever
they tried forcing patients to get it.
so before I even went for the interview, I went ahead and went and got the first shot, and then they never said anything at the interview when I went there, but which I never heard back from them. So,
Yeah,
but
they tried. The
I went
VA,
ahead and I already had both shots.
yeah, the VA tried telling me, well, if you don't, we can take your benefits from you. I'm like, no, you can't, because mine's service connected, asshole. You can't take my benefits. It's against federal law for you to take my benefits.
Yeah, so, but I figured most of the jobs I was looking into was medical based, hospitals, doctors' offices, and stuff, and so I figured, well, I'll go ahead and be the guinea pig. I mean, it didn't affect me really. I mean, the first shot didn't affect me at all, except for some tenderness, and the second shot, I had maybe some body aches the next day. Like it just,
My wife is sick as a dog right now. She's
yeah,
like, she's got like bad flu symptoms right now, where she's aching all over and shit.
yeah.
She didn't call.
So
She called off today. She's off tomorrow, but if she doesn't feel any better, she's gonna call off Monday. The thing is, she gets up to 3 days after the jab as part of the COVID program through the hospital she works for, where she gets 3 paid days for the vaccine if needed,
yeah,
because of the it's known side effects and whatnot.
yeah, I'm not interested in it myself, but that's a whole different discussion, I guess, or whatever. And I'm
Well,
not
she
trying to
wasn't.
harp on anybody either way, but
Yeah, she
it's
wasn't
going to
going to
be
get it.
gunpoint on me. So,
Yeah, she wasn't going to get it until Biden slipped the Medicare and Medicaid mandate in there when nobody was looking
yeah,
because everybody
yeah.
was worried about the OSHA one.
To
Yeah.
me, it's just principles. I don't do a lot of shit. I don't wait at doctor's offices for more than 15 minutes. If I go to one, there's a lot of shit I don't do. Some of it might end up being the death of me one day, but principles is just a big part of my life.
Yeah, the hospital wasn't going to force anybody to get it, and then that Biden mandate came down, and then they didn't have any damn choice in the matter.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
believe you
you
should be
always
forced
got
into
a
it, but
choice. I mean, that's
The
a
hospital
conversation.
didn't. I'm saying
Yeah,
the hospital didn't,
but
because
as
they
an
were going to get
individual,
heavy
you always
money.
got a choice. I mean,
Yeah.
it might not be worth it to you, and that's on you to make that decision. Everybody's got a different. It's like shopping at Walmart. If you don't like what they do, everybody's got to make their own choice. But
Yeah.
yeah,
If you looked at
you go hell no.
yeah, but remember the OSHA
Green
mandate, how that
drugs are
was like,
bad.
yeah, remember the OSHA mandate, how that was going to be like 14 grand per employee. The hospital one, it was 100 grand a day for every employee that wasn't vaccinated.
And like your wife's case, where she already even had COVID, now they want her to get the shot, and now she's sick. I mean, the whole thing sounds stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like
it is. It's we talked about
yeah,
that
like
earlier. That's
well,
extremely
just
stupid.
because they're stupid doesn't mean I got to play along. The
Yeah,
way
it
I
is if you want to keep your job.
next week they're gonna tell you got to smoke crack to keep your job. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like it's crazy. Like I don't do hoops, man. I'm so glad I'd
I
be
may not
fired
be
right
against that one though.
Yeah,
Next week they're gonna say you have to suck a dick to keep your job.
Oh, then I'm out.
Oh, bullshit. Most people would probably fucking do it. Like, well, I got a
Hey,
new
man.
car, the mortgage, my son's phone, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's sad.
Well, in our case right now, we got rent and a mortgage we have to pay until we move to the other house. So it's like we absolutely need her job right now. We can't have her being unemployed.
What's funny is the stuff that they give you out, the little information they give you out when you go get the shot. Because so many people are saying, "Oh, it's FDA approved." It says on that paper right there that there is no FDA approved vaccine for COVID-19.
No, they approved the one of the Pfizer vaccines, but that's in Europe. The version of the Pfizer vaccine that is in Europe is not distributed within the U.S., and that's the one that's.
And if you look,
so
if you look on the
no approved vaccine in the United States.
But if you look on the FDA's website, they have a press release that says that they approve the one that's in use here. I kid you not.
It's bullshit. That is an absolute lie.
It's
in
the
it says they did, man.
Gamble with unexpected side effects for a paycheck.
Whether they did or didn't, if it says on the FDA's website.
Exactly, Rob.
There is no approved vaccine within the United States right now.
Yeah, in that paper at Walgreens gave me that has information on it, it says that there is none.
Yeah, and again, but the FDA's website says there is. So if you try to sue over this fact, they're going to side with the FDA's website.
And all the data that has been requested through FOIA requests to the CDC, is it?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to delay it by 55 years because they don't want people to know what the hell is going on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Boo says that the primary care offices are incentivized $100 by insurance to have their patients get the jab. It's $100 per patient, you said.
This whole thing is about the broken leg syndrome. The government has created the broken leg, caused the broken leg, and now they're trying to swoop in and create the solution, which is not possible.
You can't, and you're not, and they get YouTube and Facebook and Twitter on their side, and if you quote their own numbers, you get your show taken down and threatened with a strike if you do it again.
Exactly.
And that's quoting the CDC. You're not allowed to quote the CDC. You're allowed to quote the World Health Organization, but you're damned if you quote the CDC. Ask me how I know.
Yeah. Well, I can name 3 other ones that have quoted the CDC or going along with Biden, and they are center-right people, and they've been canceled or they have a strike or anything along those lines. And it's just like, what? It's like they were trying to go along with what you guys were doing because they thought you were right at the time, and then you give them a strike for it? What the fuck? It just pisses me off to no end that the goddamn media can do whatever the fuck they want and say and spin it, because I'll put it this way really quick. Kyle Rittenhouse, they found the evidence and everything to be true, and they measured it, and they came out with the right conclusion. The other side of the media, you might as well be in the goddamn fucking next galaxy.
No, they live in a dream world.
They just live, exactly. They live in a goddamn motherfucking dream world. And there it is. 180 degrees.
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to say hello to Mr. Stan from SS Pawn. Evening.
Sorry, I'm getting a little pissy, but
hey, we gotta say hi to your fellow Nebraskan, okay?
Yeah. Sorry. Hi, Stan.
There you go.
Who I got to spend last weekend with.
See, saying Stan should have made you feel better.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
But anyway, I was just trying to get my point across. I'm not trying to get too pissy about it, but it's two separate universes. And I'm sorry, but that's probably the way it's going to be until a really big change comes along.
I mean, it would be one thing if the vaccine worked.
Yeah.
But it's another thing when it's been proven not to work, and they still force it on everybody.
They changed. Did you notice that they changed the name? Did you know? If you go to the CDC website, they changed the definition of vaccine.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
They changed it within the Webster's dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the CDC has Webster's definition.
Is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because before the change of the definition, it was a gene therapy.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah, the definition of vaccine was something that immunizes you against a disease. Now it's something that protects you against the effects of a disease.
Exactly. And that's what pisses me off more than anything else. They'll just change definitions. Mm-hmm. They'll just say different things.
Well, they do it with a bunch of other words. I mean, I can tell you another word that they changed the definition to, but if I say the word on air, I'll get a strike, so I can't say the word on air.
Nope, just go for it.
I'll say it.
Go.
Okay. Has everybody seen the episode of South Park where Stan was on Wheel of Fortune?
Yep.
That word.
Yes.
They changed the meaning of that word. Now they say it was derived from Negro, and that's not where that word came from.
Yep.
I just hope people look at this and learn a lesson in a sense, because if you aren't leveraged out to the point where, you can't live without a paycheck, you still have freedom in this world. So just going along with stuff that yourself is pure craziness, and taking a risk to meet the status quo and make the next paycheck, I think is crazy. That's just my opinion. I'm not trying to get at anybody, but the point is, like, the freedom to be able to say no, we need more of that. We need more, like, principles, values, like, this is a hardship. Maybe we can't get the house and we got to go down to an apartment, but we can die with our damn values and morals and under our own, what we want to do. Like, sacrifice comes with this type of stuff. So I don't want to keep harping, I guess, but I'm just saying, if people didn't follow the system and have to keep up with the Joneses and I gotta have a new phone, gotta have a new car, all this shit, you wouldn't be in the spot to where you were a slave to your employer.
You're right, Rob. You're
that was the point,
right. Life
and
is
that was the point
short.
of the OSHA the lawsuit against the OSHA mandate, which is why the Fifth Circuit stated and the Sixth Circuit agreed.
Yep.
And why OSHA was forced to withdraw the mandate, because they weren't going to get it to go through. But while nobody was paying attention, they slid that other one in, and that's the one that's fucking over the healthcare system right now.
Yep.
It was basically, it was the old magician thing. Everybody pay attention to the right hand and ignore the left hand. We were all paying attention to the
Sleight
right
of
hand with that
hand.
ocean mandate, and they slid the medical one underneath.
It's all sleight of hand. And that's what pisses me off more than any goddamn thing else. Oh, look what's going on over here. No, I'm doing it over here. Piss me off, you fucking jerks. Get on my nerves. Yeah.
Well, nobody gets the flu anymore, Moose, so that's irrelevant.
Yeah, the flu's been eradicated.
Yep.
Where have you been, Moo? The flu is
Yeah,
eradicated.
when's the last time anybody has seen a flu shot commercial?
I don't get the damn flu shot
Everything's
anyway.
COVID.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, seriously, when is the last time anybody has seen a commercial for the flu shot?
I got the
Before
flu.
COVID?
I
I got the
haven't
flu
in
this
quite a
morning,
while.
the Irish flu.
Yeah, before COVID,
Years
TV
ago.
would be plastered with flu shot commercials right now. Have you seen a single one this season? I haven't.
Or the year before? No. Yep. You're right, Rich. You're 100% right, Rich.
They don't even have the signs up in Walmart. Get your flu shot here. It's get your COVID shot here.
Yep. Exactly.
You know what? My job is offering $500 if you get the jab, and they ask you, "Are you going to get the jab?" They're not mandating it.
Jesus Christ. Really?
I'm a trucker, so
Oh, hell,
they
there's
could
some
never
places
never
offering more than
mandate
that.
it to truckers because they would lose 37% of truck drivers on top of the shortage which is going on right now. So they offer $500 if you get your jab voluntarily, and they ask you, "Are you going to get the jab?" I'm like, "No, of course I'm not going to get the jab." They're like, "Why not?" Because I don't want to get the jab. I need a job, but I don't need this job.
My wife is pissed because the
Jesus.
one doctor who's on staff at the hospital, his private practice office is giving their nurses and techs $1,000 bonus to get the jab, but because she works for the hospital, she doesn't qualify.
Okay, well, who's going to follow me if I go mobile?
I guess nobody.
Go mobile.
Evidently. Okay, Rich, are you monetized?
Am I monetized? No.
Okay.
Dude, I only got 255 subs. Come on. Qualify for that.
All right.
Why do you think I won least likely to ever get 1,000 subs on Midnight Show that one night?
All right. Well, here we go. I might have to go live here and put the camera out here really quick. This will be in honor of Kyle Rittenhouse.
You're not allowed to handle a firearm because they may not be monetized, but they will take the stream down.
Yeah, I wanted to do my giveaway as a live because you can go live at 1,000, which I just reached. So I wanted to go live to do my giveaway video, but I can't because I'm going to be shooting.
Well, you can go live on a phone using StreamYard. You just can't go live using it on your phone. You just can't go live using their built-in thing.
Oh, so I can go StreamYard get live and show myself shooting?
Well, no, I mean if you're under 1,000 subs. So that's the thing. People think that to go live on your phone, if you don't have 1,000 subs, that only applies if you're using YouTube's actual go live thing.
Oh, so you can do StreamYard under 1,000?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you going to be okay with this then?
Do not show your firearm, please, Pat. I was tempted to, but if you're shooting one, please do not. I don't want to take the chance of they're having one show taken down already.
I will not show the firearm.
Keep it in your pants, bro.
Okay, well, if it's going to hurt you, I won't do it.
I don't know if just the gunshot sound alone, but they don't want you showing guns on live streams.
No, I wasn't going to show the gun. I was just going to show the target.
Okay, yeah, you can do that, I think. As long as you're showing if you got the target set on the camera set on the target, I think you can do that. Because the only thing that I know for sure is that you're not allowed to show the firearm itself.
Okay, well, I'll just throw the green light out. There we go.
You got headphones. You might want to turn them off. Or
Quiet out there, Moo. Nobody asked you. Quiet in the peanut gallery. Go find a deer and shoot it. You're supposed to be deer hunting anyway. I know it's dark, but so what? Go hunt in the dark. They make lights for that.
You'll be able to see the flash, and you'll see the gun. Hold on 2 seconds. Got to get everything positioned.
I remember how the hell to make somebody bigger on this.
this better not be a live murder.
Screen share.
Well, it's not screen sharing. There's a way to do it. There it is.
All right. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Kyle,
I was making you take up the whole screen. That's all.
All right. Can you see the green screen?
Yeah,
Out there?
we got it.
Something, but can't quite tell what it is.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well,
Fire for effect.
Right a little more.
hold on 2 seconds. I'll get squared up.
Yeah. Can you make the light a little brighter, Pat, or is that as bright as it gets? Okay.
It's my green light. That's my hunting light. Can you see it?
Yeah. See
Out there?
something.
I see the top of your optic and the target
Top of your
downrange.
optic.
All right.
Yeah.
Can you see steel plate?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It looks like a little white dot in the middle of the screen, but yeah. You missed.
No, I got it both times. America.
Didn't hear the ding the second time.
It was there twice.
Yeah. So says you.
I got it.
Uh,
The feds are all over this video.
yeah, see, Moose says you missed. Moose says
Okay,
you gotta
well,
do it
as long as
again because you missed.
Camera's still on in the lounge.
Oh, there was a second ding.
I don't know if you can hear us. It's not responding.
Sorry.
I don't know if you can hear us, Pat. Moose said you gotta do it again because you missed.
Ah, he's getting chewed out. She's like, what the hell?
What the hell are you doing shooting this late at night? He muted. He's getting yelled at. Poor Pat. We knew him. We barely knew him. See, if this were like the chamber or something, I could just like click on the little boxes of you guys and it would pop up full screen. But it doesn't do that on StreamYard. You got to click the three little dots in the upper right hand corner of the avatar on the actual StreamYard window, and then it says enter the solo layout, and then click that. So I always forget how to do that on this. It's like takes me a minute to remember. Moose says 20 rounds or nothing. Hush, Moo. You know, if you weren't deer hunting, you could be in here too. You know.
No, sorry. Everybody's fine.
No, we thought you were getting yelled at.
No, not yet.
No, but well, I don't know if you heard us, but Moose said you got to do it again because you missed.
No, I hate it. Yes. No, I ain't going back down that road.
Well,
Okay,
if
so
the
you
wife
did get yelled at.
You're already in
just
trouble,
admitted to
man.
getting yelled at.
No, I'm not in trouble.
Uh-huh.
It's my
That's why
range.
That's why you don't want to go down that road again, because you didn't get in trouble with the wife. Uh-huh.
No, because when I came inside, I woke everybody up when I hit my muzzle up
Uh-huh.
against the lamp.
Yeah. The shots didn't wake anybody up. It was hitting the lamp. Uh-huh.
No, I'll show you it.
You know we're not going to believe you no matter what. He doesn't know this crew by now. Come on.
No?
Didn't hear anything. I didn't hear it. Did you guys hear it?
No.
No, I heard that when he walked in. That's why I said second shot.
That-
Second hit right there.
Just throw it up, man. We're not. No, you didn't
That
hear
was the third one.
anything.
No, you missed the
Heard
second
what?
shot outside,
Got
but
you, assholes.
it was a delayed ding
Still,
when you
that's
walked
still
inside.
not loud enough to wake anybody up. Come on now. We know it was the shots that woke people up. Come
That's
on.
how I woke them up.
Uh-huh.
I
So
crashed the
says
barrel
you.
into that damn thing.
So says you. I still say it was the shots. Because the shots were louder than that. Now he's
Oh,
gonna go
yeah.
outside and try and shoot
Everybody
people.
on that side of the house is heavy sleepers. So
Uh-huh.
it's when I come crashing into the house. That's when everybody wakes up.
Uh-huh. Did you go back outside again?
No.
Sound like a door opening and closing.
Maybe.
And see, Pastor got
She
me so
kicked his
irritated
ass
because
out.
he didn't get the joke and said, yeah, he did hit it. That's why I said that I actually called him by his real name. Nobody else caught that, I guess.
No, she said, what the fuck?
No, I was busting his balls because when he walked in, because he missed that second shot, you didn't hear the second ding when he
Yeah,
walked.
I know.
I
caught that. I caught it. I was
actually
busting
heard
his balls, and you go and stand up for him.
what he just explained. I heard that when he walked in. I heard
Yeah, I
him
know.
bang his
I
muzzle
was,
off of
I was
the.
busting his balls, saying we didn't hear when he was tapping on the light, and you go say, no, I heard that the first time.
I'm like, oh, there's the second shot.
You're admitting to busting his balls the first time screwed up when I was doing it to him.
That's too deep, bro.
Too deep and around my balls is not the right comments.
What is this getting into?
I don't know, but it's going
It's getting
weird.
a little weird. It's getting a little weird.
And this is where I shut up.
Yeah, Moo's still saying nope. So I'm guessing he's still saying you missed. Or he didn't hear it. One of the two.
Well, he is getting old.
This is true. Moo's probably the oldest one here. Out of I don't know if Stan's still up there.
I'm pretty old. I think Moo's a little older than me, though.
Yeah. Well, Stan's gonna be retiring, in case you guys didn't know. The end of the year.
Should ask Stan about the retirement gift he got from everybody, mostly from Ghost.
Well, what did Ghost get him, or what you guys get him? But mostly Ghost.
Let's see, a cane.
Oh, okay, yeah, I heard that.
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
it was
I
a
don't know what
hooker.
else it was.
Yeah, I thought
There's
it was
some
something else.
Huh?
Did it have a mirror on it?
Okay, well, I
I
heard
thought it
about
was
the
like-
cane, but not the rest of it.
I thought it
There was a
bank of
cane,
lap dances or something.
a urinal.
A urinal.
Yeah. So when
Where
he
the
can't
heck
get
did
up,
a urinal.
I don't remember what else.
What was the
you have to
urinal
ask
made
Stan, I
out
don't
of?
remember what else.
Ceramic, stainless steel?
There was some other stuff, and I don't remember. It was pretty funny.
You're talking about a urinal like in a men's restroom that hangs
Yeah,
on
like
the
one
wall.
of those little, like the hospital, like they would give you that little plastic urinal,
Oh, the little plastic bottle. Okay.
yeah.
Urine bottle. We didn't call those urinals. We called them urine bottles. So you said urinal. I'm thinking like when you
Wow.
walk into the men's room and they're hanging there on the wall.
No, giving one of them, and I don't remember what else there was. It was pretty funny.
I was gonna say, why?
Oh,
would
yeah,
you have a
wedding
urinal?
pads.
That's a wedding pads. He says
Yeah.
no
So
diapers.
does the urinal have lemonade in it?
See now, Now, what you
No,
should
but
have
that would
done
have
was
been a
a
good
pack.
idea.
You could have got him a pack of adult diapers, and had somebody like do a picture of Joe Biden and put it on there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the incontinence wrap.
Okay, so basically you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Old Joe with his butt being wiped gets off at Marine One. Asked the question, "My butt's been wiped." I want to know what question was asked that was a relevant answer. I don't know if you guys ever saw that video where that happened. There was no follow-up question from the reporter. The reporter asked the question, "My butt's been wiped," and he walks off, and there was again no follow-up question. So I'm guessing the reporter asked him if he had his ass wiped. I don't know.
Oh jeez.
But did you hear the one about where he farted on the plane and apparently Kamala Harris said it smelled like dead fish?
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
You yell that again?
Apparently.
No, actually, here's the thing.
There was
The
no yelling. She just
one-
kept smacking him.
No, the one thing that woke him up when I was walking through the house and I accidentally shoved the muzzle of the barrel when I had it slung over my shoulder straight into the low porcelain fixture in our house. I think Rob would probably appreciate this.
So you hit a urinal on your way by. Are we going through this thing with the light again?
No, that's what I hit my muzzle on.
You keep
That's what woke everybody up.
You keep saying that, and I still don't believe you.
No, that's actually what did it.
You're not going to convince me
He's
that little bit of
sidestepping the
noise.
fact that she was chewing him out again.
No, trust me, if she was chewing me out, I'd be in bed by now.
Uh-huh. But yeah, you're not going to convince me that you slightly banging that hanging there
No,
was
I didn't.
loud enough to wake people up, but not
bad.
the gunshots that you fired outside. I'm
Not
sorry.
without some serious soundproofing in the house.
No, actually, the house is pretty good and soundproofed. Yeah,
Is that
there's
so you don't
the
scar
dry
the
fires,
kids?
a rifle in the
Is that-
background.
Is that so you don't scare the kids while performing medical procedures on cows and bulls?
I don't do bulls. Nope, never touched one in my life, but I will do it on a cow. And that's when I'm trying to get the
Pat, you might
bull
want to work
or
on your
heifer.
phrasing. You might want to work on your phrasing.
I said I will not ever work on a bull.
Yes, and that's not the phrasing I'm talking about.
What, hand up a cow's ass?
No, you said do it and cow in the same sentence.
Well, I apologize. Let me rephrase. Goddamn, Rich is trying to make me out like the goddamn prosecution on the fucking Rittenhouse case.
Hey, you're the one that said I should be a lawyer.
Well, honestly, you should be. Because you can catch anybody on a technicality. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Now you're the prosecution.
No, that'll be more of a prosecution expert witness when being asked about video that he edited. Which right then and there should have got that video disqualified, by the way.
Yes, it should have.
When the expert who worked on the video doesn't know how the damn thing works, that evidence should never have been admitted.
Yeah, the pickles.
Mm-hmm. Sheriff VC knew more about how the fucking pixels work than their expert did.
Yeah.
Better.
And
That's the way to go.
what was it? Kraus had handbrake
Uh-huh.
on his.
Yes, he did. After saying he didn't know how to edit video, he had Handbrake. What is Handbrake used for? It's used to change the resolution on video.
And compress video files.
Yes, it compresses and changes the resolution. I've used that program many times.
That's the only way you can send a text of that type video is if you compress it.
Well, it's also the only way that the metadata would have been changed. Remember when the defense said that the prosecution's video and the video of the prosecution had two different metadatas? That shows that the video was changed by a program like Handbrake, because that's what changed the metadata. This texting or airdropping or emailing a video doesn't change the video's metadata. You know where I learned that? Taking crime scene photography classes at Liberty University when I was getting my bachelor's degree in criminal justice.
That's before you came a Fed?
It was because before I came what?
ATF?
Oh no, I'm not with the ATF.
So why did the judge let it go on that far if that was the case?
Because
Why did he let it go to a jury?
Every time the defense had the prosecution on the ropes, Krause or Binger would wind their asses off and the judge would cave.
Because he wanted it to go to a jury because he didn't want to be on the hook for
let me
mistrial.
finish. Let me finish. And then the defense would just shut up.
Yep.
They wouldn't argue it any further.
They would not object. They would. This is one of the things that just really pissed me off.
Everybody acts like the defense did a great job. The defense fucking sucked.
Well, I think the defense, not to defend the defense, acted the way they did because they knew that the prosecution was fucking up so bad that they had it in the bag.
But the process,
the judge should have ruled a mistrial with prejudice like 5 fucking times.
Yeah, no kidding.
Exactly.
And you know what? You know how many times the defense brought that up? Once.
Well, twice if you count total.
Well, no, they brought that up once. The dismissal
with
with prejudice. The other time was mistrial with prejudice. I mean, without prejudice, which means they were going to give the prosecution a second crack at it.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing that pissed me off from the beginning. When once the prosecution stepped over the line once and twice,
and third,
and the judge, yeah, exactly, and he said, "You're on the line, or you're over the line."
The judge told them there is a day of reckoning coming. Those were his exact words to Binger. Yeah. There is a day of reckoning coming.
And then once they sent the video with the shitty resolution, that should have been
it
should have been done before that, but that should have been like, motherfucker,
it was on that video.
You're fucking done. This is over.
Yeah. It was in reference to that video where the judge told him there's a day of reckoning coming. And there was no day of reckoning because not a damn thing was done about it.
Exactly.
So the judge gave them every fucking chance to convict this kid.
Yeah, take a pill, Rick.
Never even had charges brought against him.
I'm shocked that the judge dismissed the gun charge and the curfew charge, to be perfectly honest.
Yes. Exactly. And I'll throw my 2 cents in on this.
And if the defense would have... go ahead. Sorry, Pat.
Here's how it was going to go. Everything, the way it played out, was the way that the judge was kicking the can down the road.
Exactly.
Because
what he was doing the whole entire time.
Well, this judge has a
Exactly.
history of that. This judge has a history of that. He believes so much in the jury
Exactly.
process that he doesn't want to make a decision.
He's got no fucking balls.
He was
passing
hoping.
balls down the line to the next person.
Exactly. And I agree with both of you wholeheartedly. He was kicking the can down the road. He wanted and was hoping that the jury would bail his ass out.
Exactly. Fucking
That's the only reason that he was that he would never rule on anything. He would never.
He was going to be forced to make a ruling was if it would have came back as a
Which
hung
is
jury.
like going back to your point earlier, Rich. Like if they did come down with a verdict or a hung jury, whether the judge would have ruled mistrial with prejudice. I said absolutely not because he's got no fucking balls. He was not going to take that.
Well, we don't know. That could that playing devil's advocate. That could have been when the day of reckoning finally emerged. Is when it came back as a hung jury. Because then
no, he would not. That judge.
I don't know. No, I don't know because there are people that have. There was Barnes has argued before that judge before. He says he doesn't like making a decision until the jury does, and then he will base on what the jury comes up with. So whether or not, which is why I said there is a possibility that if that came back as a hung jury, that he would have ruled mistrial with prejudice. That chance existed. But the problem is, it should never have got to the fucking jury.
Exactly.
He may have ruled that way because he was fearful for his life and his family and his house and all that stuff.
Well, that's why the U.S. Marshal Service was
that's bullshit.
At the very end, he said to the jury, he's like, you know, if this mob outside bothers you, just let me know and I'll take care of it. So I think he had some inside information from the governor that they weren't going to riot and that he could rule independently without the
well, you know, the federal marshals were there.
Job like that if you can't deal with a bunch of people trying to kill you or wanting to, you know, making threats and stuff like that. In my opinion, because there's always going to be a pissed off party as far as law and judges.
Oh no, they were getting death threats. They were getting death threats.
Yeah, but shit, I make YouTube videos and I've gotten death threats. Like death threats happen, not a big deal.
This was this is a serious situation. When you got the judge,
why didn't they riot?
And all three defense attorneys.
People can say that, but you know, don't be a pussy.
It was a big enough issue where the federal marshals were in the courthouse to protect the judge.
But why didn't they riot?
I believe that, but it doesn't matter. You can still have the balls to do your damn job. Like if you can be persuaded because you like your ass kicked.
All I'm saying is that the threat was significant enough.
Why didn't they riot after the verdict?
Thank you, Rob.
Because there wasn't enough people there to riot. See, the problem is
they didn't riot after the verdict.
Did you see? Did you see?
There
wasn't anybody out there.
Re-election.
There was a handful of people outside that courthouse. They're acting like, if you look at the media, they say there was a bunch of people out there. But every shot they showed outside that courthouse, there was hardly anybody outside that courthouse when Rittenhouse and his lawyers and the family of the people that Rittenhouse shot and Rittenhouse's family and everybody, when that courthouse cleared and the media was following the participants and the families and whatnot, there was nobody outside that courthouse. There was maybe 30 people outside that courthouse.
So before, like the few days leading up to that, the mainstream media was just lying to everybody.
Are you shocked by that?
No, I'm not shocked at all.
Okay. Well, I'll put it this way, in simplistic form. If you watched the whole trial and everything, you knew what was going down. You knew what the facts were. You knew what the jury was doing. Just spin it 180 degrees around. That's all you have to do for left-wing media. That's it.
Mm-hmm. But the reason why the federal marshals are there, a lot of people don't realize this. If there is a state-based judge whose life has been threatened, and they find it to be a credible threat, they will send the U.S. Marshals in to act kind of like the Secret Service does with the president and vice president.
Well, keep in mind, something like this is another way the average person or a citizen can serve their country. with that, there is some risk sometimes, but
Yep.
you still got to do the right damn thing.
Yep. Exactly. And thank God for those jury that came to the right conclusion.
Well, thank
That
God the rumored one Karen that was the jury foreman came to her damn senses.
But
Because according to the rumor mill, it was 11-1.
right at the same time, if I watched the Rakita Law on the after stream afterwards when they got the jury hand downs from all the 5 charges, 3 of them were already judged the first day. It was the next 2 that they had to really deliberate about on the 19th. So,
And if
God,
you stop and think
did
about
their
it,
deed. All right, go ahead.
usually you don't see a judge let the jury take the jury instructions home with them. In
Right.
this case, that may have been a good thing because that could be what turned the tide.
Exactly. And thank God they didn't have to go on LegalZoom or some other place to clarify it, because there's a difference between the colloquial version versus the legal version of that. And I just thank God. And okay, I'll let you on a little inside deal. I told my wife before what was it 2 days ago, then it would have been 5 days ago, so yeah, basically 5 days ago, I told my wife, I'm a God-fearing person. I told my wife, I said, all I want for Christmas is to find Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty.
Well, I wasn't convinced that
And
he
an
was going to walk.
Arnell's full kit.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah, I would like those too. But I told her at the same time, I said, this young man does not deserve to be put through this kind of ringer and be found guilty, because you can't find a self-defense like this that has been put on video this much. You can't. I mean, you can't find a legal defense that they've got it all on tape. It's all photographed. And I said, all I want is for this young man to go free and continue on with his life.
Yeah,
I got my Christmas gift.
Yeah, here's the thing. The defense did such a poor job. I wasn't convinced that he was going to walk. I thought they were going to get him on at least one of the charges.
I didn't either. I thought it was going to be a hung jury at the least.
Yeah, I was thinking hung jury, or they were going to get him on one of the charges. I didn't think he was going to walk away from this trial. He was either going to be going to jail on one of the lessers, or he was going to be retried. That's how bad the defense did.
Yep, they did. They sucked.
People who don't understand the court system thinks the defense did a great job. They won in spite of his attorneys.
Exactly, because Kyle Rittenhouse
Richards was god awful.
Oh God!
You can
Until
see in
he showed up.
Face. You can see in Sheriff Vesey's face. He wanted to object, but he was second chair. He couldn't. Richards told him not to, so he couldn't object. And then at the press conference, Richards had the nerve to say that Sheriff Vesey was co-counsel. No, he was second chair. If he was co-counsel, when he wanted to object, he would have.
Exactly.
He was the one out of the 3 that was halfway competent anyway.
When the police show up, you tell them just to deal with Rich White.
Yep, pretty much.
Or USCCA.
That too. That works. I mean, sorry. I mean, the way I looked at it, the defense did not stick up enough.
No.
Written.
If he would have been convicted, he had an appeal just based on improper representation. Not let alone the Fifth Amendment question. That video that was allowed to show.
Twice.
They had so many things that were appealable that it is mind-boggling that this case wasn't dismissed.
Yeah. And Rich, I know you've been following it just as much as I have. I'm the layman, and I kept screaming, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Yeah. When the judge called him out on the Fifth Amendment thing, I'm screaming, "Dismiss it then! Dismiss all charges! What are you doing?"
But nope, the judge wanted to let it go to jury, and he was hoping that he would bail their ass out. And I think the gun-toting pacifist will back me up on that one.
The most
Judge had
egregious,
no balls.
the most egregious thing that happened was when Binger was calling him out for exerting his Fifth Amendment rights. That right there is a fucking mistrial.
Constitutional mistrial right there.
And it's an ethics violation.
Yep.
Binger should be sitting in a fucking jail cell right now.
Rich is going to get yelled at next.
Sanctioned and disbarred at the
He
least.
should have been sitting in a jail cell for contempt. He should be doing at least 30 days in the county lockup and a $10,000 fine. The judge did fucking nothing.
Yep.
No, he kicked the can down the road.
He gave him a tongue lashing and said, "I'm going to warn you one more time. Don't do this again." He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, Binger's done this with this judge before. That was like the 100th case that Binger has tried before Schrader.
400.
He knows how to push the judge's buttons and then walk it back.
480.
He knows how to push that judge's buttons and walk it back. And that's exactly what he did time after time after time.
Yep. Because the longer the prosecution kept talking, the more the judge walked it back.
Yeah. Well, again, he knows how to play that judge. He knows how to push his buttons. And the defense did not catch on to this because they could have done the same goddamn thing to the benefit of their client, and they didn't. Particularly Mark Richards.
All they had to do was once the prosecution got him sitting on the fence, all the defense had to do was knock him over.
Wouldn't it be funny if Richards' middle name was like Pat? Because then it would be Mark, Pat, and Richards. Let that sink in a minute.
Rich, I officially hate you.
Mark Patrick Richards.
Kiss my ass.
No. No, that's pacifist, you and me.
I know. Yes, that is fucking hilarious.
If his middle name is Patrick, I don't know if it is or not. Or he could be Catholic.
It better not be, or else I'm gonna whip my pants.
Patrick Robert Richards. See, now your minds are really blown, right?
But anyway, I'm glad that Kyle is cleared of it. So
and Rob's probably trying to figure out what the hell are those idiots talking about.
No, man, you can't keep up with madness.
No, you can't.
We're making jokes based on the lead defense attorney's name. His name is Mark Richards. I was like, what if his middle name was Patrick? And then I was like, oh, then you came back. Oh, he could be Catholic, and then his name could be Mark Patrick Robert Richards. See where I'm going here?
Oh God, damn it, Rich.
You can never trust a guy with 4 first names. Never.
Exactly.
No.
4 first names.
Yeah. Well, the last one will be possessive, but or plural. So not only that, his last name is a plural of a first name. Because there's no apostrophe, so it would have to be a plural.
Yeah.
2 dicks.
No, multiple personality disorder. If you look at the way he acted in trial and then look at him in the post trial press conference, it's 2 different guys.
Oh yeah, in the conference after the trial, holy crap! Where the hell was that guy?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. It's multiple personalities.
Because on closing, he did a pretty decent job.
No, he didn't. He was terrible on close.
No, the first half. The first half, he was pretty good. Just like Binger was on the first half of the prosecution, they were both pretty good. But after that, they lost everybody. They were junk.
He was terrible on close. He had no emotion in close. He was just going fact, 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 fact. He was not appealing to jury's emotions. He was terrible on close.
No, she said come on.
No, he was way too passive. He was way too passive and fact based.
I will agree with you on that. He was still too passive on close, but he was way better than what he had been all the friggin' trial.
That's a low bar to go by, Pat.
I know, but he did soup it up.
No. The way he was at the press conference is the way he should have been the whole trial.
Exactly.
So that close, if he'd have been that way during the trial, that close would have been, you would have seen just how god awful that close was.
Exactly.
Why are you agreeing with me? You just said the close was good.
No.
Hey, don't walk you back now, damn it. I want you to strongly disagree with him. Disagree with him. Tell him you don't agree. You thought he did a good job. Too bad, Rich. I don't care what you think. You're crazy. Tell him.
I'm not the only one that said it, because Pat watched the same stream I did, and every one of those attorneys said the same thing I just said. That close was god awful. The only thing that made that close look any kind of good was that Binger's and Krause's closing statements were worse.
Right, exactly. No, what I was going to comment on was after. Here's what I was talking about, Rich. When they got done with the closing and they had the conference after, that's where he was the strongest.
Yeah, that's the way he should have been the whole trial.
Exactly. Why in the hell didn't he stand up for the defendant like that all the way through the damn trial? Because he was sharp as a tack through there, and he put the blame on where it laid.
And I liked how he agreed with Barnes. If you remember when they were talking about why did they put Cal on the stand, and Barnes was like, well, you have to in Wisconsin. And
yeah, exactly.
Richards mirrored that exact sentiment. If you don't put the defendant on the stand in Wisconsin, you just convicted your client. They're not going to believe it. They want to hear what he has to say or she has to say, or they're not going to believe the defense.
Exactly.
And that's 2 Wisconsin lawyers that said that. Both of them defense attorneys that brought that up.
Now, honestly, in my opinion, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but Sheriff Vesey did the best job out of besides Kyle.
He was the best of the
Besides Kyle.
5. He was the best of the 5 attorneys that were on the floor there in the courthouse.
Yeah. Sheriff Easy was probably the best.
How his questioning of their expert didn't get that video evidence thrown out, I do not know. Because he
God.
made that guy look like a fool.
Jesus Christ. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
remember the little boxes? One was red, one was blue, and he asked him what the box in the middle would be if you used linear enhancement. And the guy says, I don't know, and he wrote the P in. And
Pickles.
And the guy just looked at him like, huh? The guy had no idea what the fuck. That guy was as much of an expert as my cat is when it comes to video editing.
Right. And I feel sorry for that guy.
And the worst part, the judge was figuring this out for himself and threw it away.
Exactly.
The judge sat there on the bench with his phone and brought up about how when he used pinch to zoom, it made the picture more blurry and he couldn't tell what it was. Right there, Judge, you're on it. You got it. Yay, you got it. Stop there. Don't go any farther. You got it. You got the point. No. He let the prosecution talk him down from what he figured out with an epiphany on his own.
Yeah. I like I've said from about day 2 or 3, and I don't understand half of this stuff. I am a layman when it comes to anything legal. But at the same time, I have common sense. And when the judge did several things where it should have been thrown out, it was like, why didn't you just get rid of this case? But at the same time, thank God they let it play out the way it did. It was a kangaroo court.
Oh my God. Thank God that the prosecution objected to the dismissal without prejudice. What the fuck were Binger and Krause thinking?
Exactly.
If the defense is offering you a mistrial without prejudice, you fucking jump on that shit.
Exactly.
You're gonna need another pill.
Insert it right here.
The defense, they literally fucked themselves, and the prosecution let them go.
Exactly.
They let them hook in mouth, and they let the fish go. Unless they thought somehow it was a trap. I don't know how.
Please, New York Outcast, please put your filler in right here.
Eat a salad.
Because, okay, holy crap. I mean, if you can't, just like Rich was saying, I mean, they had multiple times and multiple places to jump on each other to say mistrial, this, that, the other thing. And it was just like, okay, well, it's story time with the judge.
Oh my God.
It's just story time.
You see that skylight up there? You know why that's messed up like that? Because when they were putting the air conditioning in, they had to take out the office across the hallway, and they messed up that ceiling. And they didn't make that since 1960, and they're just now fixing it. That's why you see all that like work going on up there. Like, Jesus Christ, Judge, why the hell are you giving the defendant a history lesson on the fucking skylight? Pat will confer. That happened.
Oh, God. Jesus fucking Christ. Yes.
But wait a
I-
minute now. Was that skylight? Did it have wooden trim or?
I don't know. They didn't show it, but I'm guessing it did because the courthouse was like 100 years
Yeah.
old.
Did it open?
I don't know if it opened or not, but the judge is pointing out about how old the skylight was. That skylight was put there when they first built this place. I think it was like in 1920, and it opened in 1922. And then
Bad
in
skylights will
1960,
piss you off, man.
yeah, he was like, there was right across the hallway there was another courtroom, but then they turned that into offices, and they put it when the person moved in there with this office. I think it was the prosecutor's office that was over there, and, and he's like, and then there was something wrong where they weren't getting the air conditioning right. Okay, so they went, and then 1960 there they went and put in new air conditioning, and when they did, they just turned up the ceiling here. And that's why the skylight's all messed up, and that's why you see them now, like where they're working on it. It's like, Jesus Christ, John, what the hell is this pertinent to? I mean, it was just
So
like
it was probably a union employees, huh?
No,
Yeah,
the
pretty
judge
much.
was just like telling goofy stories. He was doing it throughout the whole trial. Whenever they had a break and they had to excuse the jury, or they were waiting for the jury to come back from lunch or something, the judge would sit there telling silly stories, like
Nope.
history and shit.
Nope. I got even one better for you, Rich. The first day that they plugged out the 6 jurors from the jury trial, they were playing God damn it. Not Wheel of Fortune, they were playing Jeopardy, and they got on a hot mic, and they were playing Jeopardy with the 6 alternates for about 45 minutes on live mic there, and it was like, what the hell are we listening to? And I was like, oh, Jeopardy. Okay. Well, judge is playing Jeopardy with the 6 alternates. Okay. Well,
How about every time the judge's cell phone rang?
Oh, God.
Proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free. And that set the media off.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine. I mean, don't get me wrong.
The judge is biased. His ringtone is proud to be American. Okay, so being
bullshit. His cell phone should have been silenced like everybody else in the courtroom.
Well, and honestly, it should have been. It really should have been.
Yeah, I'm not saying it should. He should have had it on vibrate. But it's just funny. Every time his phone rang, you got the proud to be an American ringtone.
Yeah. Do-do-do-do-do-do. No. Do-do-do-do-do. And that's all it was.
And it annoyed, but the best part is it annoyed the hell out of the media.
Yeah.
Oh, how about when the judge called out the media right there in the courtroom? Flat out told him, if there's any misconduct after this trial, it is your fault.
Yeah.
He flat out said that to the media.
Okay, well, Rich, after the stream, we're going to have to get together sometime, and we're going to have to go to Ricada Law. Silence?
Go over there for what? I don't think he's doing anything tonight.
No, I was talking about just something like Ricada Law, just to...
Where you want to make a road trip to Minnesota? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'll pick you up.
That's a little out of your way.
I think that would be fun as hell. I really do. Those
Rich
guys...
isn't allowed to leave the house. He's on house arrest.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I wonder what the last video that Nick did do was. 20 hours ago, he did a video on the Rittenhouse case, and maybe he had Pat. It looks like he had Alex Jones, maybe, because that's the thumbnail. Is Alex Jones?
No, actually, he put the thumbnail up there. It smells like sulfur. And
Yeah, I didn't watch the video, so I don't know.
I did. And yeah, no, it was him and civil, unlaw, and
uncivil law. You mean?
Raunchy on that one.
Yeah, uncivil law.
They were doing a victory lap.
Yeah, that's what it says. Friday victory lap.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, it was a victory lap. It was a good one.
It's a shame that oh, Joe, what the hell's Joe's channel name? Good Logic. Good Logic. It's a shame that he's Jewish and he couldn't be on there because that would have made it better.
Yeah,
because he probably would have been drunk.
No,
have you watched any of Good Logic's videos? Any of his live streams?
Yep.
Every time he gets a super chat, he's taking a shot.
Yep. Well, he's gonna be taking a hell of a lot more after this weekend. But no, he's Jewish, and he does observe the Sabbath.
Yep.
So
it was about 4 o'clock on Friday. He had to jump off because he had to start observing the Sabbath.
Yep, 45 minutes.
If you guys don't know, in the Jewish faith, on the Sabbath, they're not allowed to work.
Yep, exactly. In which, to each their own.
Well, that's the day of rest, and it's in the Torah, which is our Old Testament. That is one of the commandments. So in the Jewish faith, they still adhere to that, depending on how deep their temple goes into it. You know, whether they're Orthodox, Reformed, whatever.
He is Orthodox.
Yeah,
he's Orthodox. So yeah, very devout. So yeah, no. Good God.
Yes, he is Orthodox. He's not one of the goofy curly Q Jew guys that walks around dressed like an Amish guy.
Yep.
I forget what ones those are. That's like rabbinic Jew or something. But he's not that far down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you.
And Ron Coleman, he had to jump off because he's Jewish as well.
Yep.
And he's even more observant than what Joe is because Ron actually wears the yarmulke and shit.
Yep. And which that's fine.
Yeah.
Define your faith. I have no problem with that.
Oh no!
So you guys got something against Jewish people?
No, we're just talking out our asses right about now. We just went down the rabbit hole of Judaism, which neither one of us think are Jewish. I know I'm not.
That's like saying, "Hey, this is Rob, but he's black."
No. You're only half black. So
that's just extra information. Hey, we don't need to know all that shit.
Rob, if you were in Cal Rittenhouse's position, you'd be white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Your black half wouldn't count anymore.
No. And sadly,
Cal Rittenhouse is not white. He's half Hispanic. And that part went out the window as soon as he shot somebody. I think we were talking about this last night on Budget. It was either Budgets or Gary's, or maybe it was in Gary's after chat last night.
Gary's after chat.
Yeah. If you look at every time the media showed a picture of George Zimmerman, his picture would get whiter and whiter and whiter. They were literally whitewashing the picture to make him look less Hispanic.
Defamation of character.
Okay. Pretty much.
We got
what the hell is wrong
G23's
with America?
Yeah, G23's out there.
I'm sorry, I'm about to rant.
Did you just get done G23, or did you just now decide to jump in? Holy shit, we're going on 1 o'clock.
It's 12 here now.
I was not paying attention to the clock. I was not expecting to be going this long. But that usually happens with this Saturday show for some reason.
Well, it's a good conversation. So I can.
I was expecting to go maybe like an hour and a half, and we're at 3 3/4 hours now.
You were yelling and screaming for more than an hour and a half.
I was not. Yeah, G23 says
bullshit. You won the award this week.
Uh-huh. Maybe that's why I don't have much of a voice left. My son did come down the stairs. Can you quiet down a little? I gotta get up at 4 o'clock, or I work at 4. Like, oops.
The neighbors already reported you to the FBI.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't know my neighbors. On one side we have black conservatives. On the other side we have mentally handicapped who think Joe Biden is a complete and total asshole. So.
Yep, you're just a crazy vet next door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Shame on you.
Oh no, we've had some good discussions with the people on the. Well, if you're looking out the front door, the people on the right, who that's the black conservative single mother who lives there, and we've had some good discussions about legal issues because of certain things that have happened that she wanted some advice about.
I don't know. That's not what I heard. I heard the neighbors got a block party for when you move.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob.
Yeah, he's from New York, the home of the mainstream media. So, of course he's going to make up things. I'm going to sue Rob for defamation at this point.
All right.
You better start selling a lot of them displays, Rob.
Hey. It's not defamation if it's true.
It's not true.
Well, of course you weren't invited.
Uh-huh. I don't think you would have either. They don't know you exist.
That boy. Here we go again.
Oh, God damn. The pacifist is just like being quiet. You didn't fall asleep up there, did you?
Yeah, he's sleeping.
Yep. Pacifist. Woohoo! Pacifist. Marky Mark. Woo. Wake up.
I want to know who his avatar girl is. Is that just something he picked, or is that the wife right there?
That's Oktoberfest girl.
Gary had it right.
Anyway. Well, last statement. I got to get up in the morning. I got to go feed cows. So I'll put my last statement in right here.
But you saw what I did, right?
No.
Look at that. Look at his name. I turned it back to what Gary had it.
Oh. Oh. All right. Gotcha.
When he jumped in, that was the name he had. I don't know if you were in here or not at that point. I don't know if Rob was here yet either. I know Jason was.
Okay. Anyway,
were you? How long did you stay on Gary's after chat? Because I had to jump out early. If you remember, because we were trying to figure out why his name was changed to that. So I didn't know if you knew the story behind that or not.
Vaguely, but I was only out there for about first 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, you probably left before I did then.
Yeah. I had to get up and I got to move corn, soybeans, and all that other crap.
Yeah, I had to bail out like a half hour into the after chat because I just couldn't keep my eyes open anymore.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
he probably won't hear this, but anyway, Kyle Rittenhouse. Thank God you did what you did.
Oh,
I can,
God.
I'm trying to phrase this in the words.
Yeah, well, while you're thinking of that, I just want to say to people out there, quit calling him a vigilante. He was not a vigilante. A
Thank you.
vigilante is Batman. A vigilante is Charles Bronson in Death Wish. That is not what Rittenhouse did. He was not a vigilante. Quit using those words. You're making him into a criminal by using that word. Vigilantism is a crime.
He did not do that. Thank you, exclamation point, period, because he was trying to help his community. Oh, he went over state lines. Bullshit. State lines don't mean a goddamn fucking thing.
Especially when you live 20 minutes across the state line.
Exactly.
My wife crosses the state line every day to go to work.
Exactly. State lines don't mean shit. But anyway, I just want to put this out there. Thank you, Kyle Rittenhouse, for doing your duty when other people would not do it. Thank you, young man, for putting up with the crap that the left-wing media is labeling you with. Thank you for standing up for America. That's all I got to say.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Damn right.
I'm free. Oh. You know how like when somebody gives a speech in a movie and then like some patriotic song plays? I just felt that was appropriate.
No, it was. I just that kid's got a long way to go yet.
His life is still gonna be a shitstorm, at least for the next few years until something else happens to take the attention away from him.
I just thank God that he is a free man.
Which is what he is. His manhood was earned through fire. At this point, he walked through the fire of hell and back.
Show me a self-defense case better than this one. You can't.
Well,
with this much photographic and video evidence, you can't.
No, but there are a lot that don't need that much evidence. It's just a bonus that it had that much evidence. That's the thing. It's not necessarily that you need that much evidence to prove a self-defense case. It's just lucky for him he had that much evidence to prove the self-defense case.
And that's why I'm saying you can't find a better self-defense case than this one.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say you can't find a better one. I will say you're not going to find one with as much evidence on the side of the defense.
Exactly.
Because you got clear-cut home invasion self-defense, which would give you a better case depending on what state you're in.
Anyway. Thank you, Kyle, and everybody out there. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
I think we lost Rob. His phone may have died because he just dropped randomly without
Yep.
saying anything.
I got to go harvest the last bit of my corn.
Okay. Yeah, he just said it was his phone. So.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me tonight, Rich. I appreciate it.
Yep. If Pacifist, have a good sleep there in your chair, buddy. We're going to kick him out of the studio so that we can end this. And, I don't want him stuck in here by himself. So, on that note, since I'm the only one left here, I'm going to wrap this up and just say thank you to everybody that popped in tonight as a guest. And we will see some of you, I guess, tomorrow night. Those of you who are into the wrestling thing. For those of you who aren't, we will see you later in the week on some stream somewhere, even if it's not until Friday for Gary's stream. But till then, have a good night, and we will see you next week. Have a good night, folks. This show is over.